Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Kane's Wrath 1 vs. 1 OneVISION mod tournament, proudly hosted by GameReplays.org. My name is Spartacus, and we are in for some exciting and potentially confusing 1v1 action here today, folks. So thank you all for joining me this morning. If you haven't noticed, we are getting started a little bit earlier than I normally would, and that is because we just have so darn much information to go through with you guys. But anyways, a couple of things to note before we get started. All links referred to in this cast are available in the description of the video, so just click that Show More button beneath the video to follow along with our broadcast for today. Additionally, all music heard during this broadcast, including the stuff that you're hearing right now, is courtesy of of Zircon, Little V Mills, and Spectral Theory. So if you enjoy the music you hear today, please be sure to check out their respective websites. These guys are awesome. If there's one in particular that I can ask you to check out Little V. That dude's channel is amazing. But anyways, that's going to be it for that. Furthermore, if you find yourself bored during the downtime, but you won't find yourself bored, come on, it's me. But if you do, during the downtime we'll inevitably have between games or series, please feel free to click on that I button in the top right corner of your video screen for direct links to past events and single game commentaries on my channel. So with that stuff out of the way, I'm going to run through really quickly what today's event is going to be about, and then I will give you guys an overview of what the mod is. The mod creator has actually uploaded a couple of really cool documents that I can actually go through with you and really give you a good feel for the mod. I was a little bit worried because I was going to be going into this a little bit undereducated on the mod. I'm not going to lie to you guys. But anyways, some tournament-specific stuff here today, guys. It is a single elimination tournament. Pretty standard stuff. Best of 3 until the semifinals. Best of 5 semifinals. And then the third place and finals matches will be best of 7 series. So the maps that we'll be playing on will be standard 1.02 maps, not 1.02 plus, so we won't get to see any of the cool Predator maps in this instance, but that's okay. We've still got some pretty cool maps on the docket, and I guess the map pool to run through that real quick is Tournament Rift, Tournament Decision, Tournament Dust Bowl, Tournament Coastline, Tournament Arena, Tournament Tower, Small Town USA, and Pipeline Problems. Again, pretty standard stuff. That's what you would expect with 1.02. So the round of 32, if we do have it, which I don't think we will because I don't think we've got that many signups, but in the event that we do, that will start off on Small Town USA. Heading over to the round of 16, we'll be kicking off on Pipeline Problems. The round of 8, which will be the quarterfinals, will start on Tournament Decision. The round of 4, the semifinal round, will start on Tournament Rift, Classic Tournament Rift. And then the round of 2, which is the finals and third place matches, will start on Small Town USA. So you'll notice round of 32 and round of 2 both start on the same map. That's most likely because the intention was to get Small Town USA in the starting maps. And I don't think there's any guarantee that we're going to get a round of 32, so that's okay. So, with that stuff out of the way, now let's go through a lightning quick round of what today's mod is. So today's mod is going to be the OneVISION mod, and we're actually playing on patch 0.86. So again, if you guys are interested in the mod, you can check out the ModDB page. That's actually linked right down in the description of the video. There should be a section underneath tournament information that says mod info and download. So I'm getting ahead of myself, and that will have a link next to it. The bit.ly links are just shortened links of the longer URLs. I've shortened them just for the purpose of making it a little bit more presentable. The brackets also in there, sign up topic, all that stuff. So you can see all the stuff you need to see, but I'll also go through some mod information for you guys here today. And I gotta turn my headset down because this is just too darn loud. Okay, so I have been sent a bunch of cool stuff here in the form of Word documents. So if I can find them, we'll take a look at them. Where did they go? I just had them a second ago. Of course, the stuff that I prepare ahead of time is never ready when I need it. That's just how it goes, right? All right, stalling for time, I can't find it. All right, let's see if we can do it this way. I'm pretty sure I downloaded it. Yeah, here we go. Okay, all right. Let's do this. Go full screen. Wait, can I go full screen? Oh no, that's not what I want. Sorry guys, thought I had this down, but apparently I don't. Let's pop this up. No, I don't want. Well, that's a bummer. Thought I had it figured out, but I don't. Well, I'll run you through the mod information, and then we'll get the guides up. The guides are actually really cool. But the OneVISION mod guide, you guys can actually download this for yourselves. I believe Imaginary Number, who is in the chat, is available to give you guys that link. I don't know if the links actually work, so you know what? When I get a chance, I will provide a link for you guys in the description. Those of you that are watching the video after the fact, you'll obviously have this information right now. For those of you that are watching right now, you guys will have to just kind of bear with me. I will have that information for you shortly after we're done our spiel and we get into our first game. I'll make sure to put that link in there before we jump into the first game. But anyways, the OneVISION mod guide, this is information that you can get directly from the mod creator himself. So if you want to, I'll just read through this as quickly as possible. If you just want to skim through the most essential changes for the mod, only read the bold print, so we'll actually just do that. So the bold print is the, so while there are wow, okay, let's see if I can figure out how to read aloud. So while there are several minor adjustments, as long as you keep in mind the fundamental goals of the mod, you will find it. Okay. I don't know if it's me reading it or if it's the English that I'm reading. Okay, but some quick changes, fixing all bugs in the game. So standard, standard issues with 1.02 that we're needing to. I can't even speak. I don't know what's going on right now, guys. I think I'm having like a stroke or something. I don't know what's going on. All right, but I think the aim of the mod was to fix all bugs in the game, to change the amount of cheese and lame that is possible, a higher diversity between all of the factions, less Scorpion and Predator tank spam. Fleshed out early, mid, and late game for each faction, and better heavy infantry. So, actually, that's really cool, because if you think about it in terms of what Kane's Wrath is kind of lacking is the heavy infantry you don't really see very often, and that's, when we're talking about heavy infantry, if you're looking at, like, 1.02 or 1.02 plus, we're looking at, like, zone troopers, we're looking at, like, I mean, we see Black Hand squads, not in heavy numbers, but zone troopers pretty rarely, mostly used just to garrison inside of epic units. Black Hand squads obviously used in reckoners, but then also the shock troopers, not seen very often. They are useful in certain situations, but again, you don't see them very often. They're not usually worth the bang for the buck. And I'm not even sure I'm being very specific. Anyways, I thought I was going to be able to read through this. I'm questioning my ability to both read aloud and maybe a little bit of the language used in the Google documents. But anyways, we are going to probably jump into game now, because aside from butchering all that information for you guys, I figure I'll just jump in there and we'll see about getting our first game underway. Let me see if I can move this around. Oh wait, this one works. Oh, this one works. Okay. Alright, change of pace. So it looks like the faction ones work for me, but the mod guide slideshows don't work. So we'll just do this. So, here you guys go. This is what I'm looking at. I think I can close this. I don't want to say enable editing. Okay. Alright, I clicked enable editing last time and that totally screwed this whole slideshow presentation up, and I'm not as fluent in Word as I should be. But anyways, this is just going to be a quick overview. This is the beginner's guide created by the mod creator. So all GDI factions have access to slingshots. They're a bit cheaper and cannot crush infantry anymore, but they can deploy sensor pods after the upgrade. AP ammo is available to all factions. I think that was true regardless, but it does a lot less damage to structures, vehicles, and aircraft. That should actually change the counter to aircraft pretty significantly. Like, you can't just spam APCs to deal with aircraft and infantry. That's interesting. All right, and then light infantry scouts. This is a new unit that's been added to the game. It's cheap and fast infantry with a big line of sight. Scouts have bad combat stats. I didn't think they could actually fire at all, but maybe I'm cross-referencing my information with another mod that I'm thinking of. But yeah, so just real light infantry. I'm not sure if they're necessarily going to be worthwhile, but we'll have to see if people actually choose to use them. And then the dig-in faction can be made for free, but requires more time. Interesting. So they've removed the cost of actually creating the foxholes, but it does take a little bit longer for you to dig in, so you can't really do those in panic situations. So anyways, let's move on to the next one. So Steel Talon, some information about these guys. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Okay, apparently if I scroll... Okay, alright. I got it now. So while Steel Talons have better infantry than in the original game, they remain a macro-oriented tank faction with their focus on fighting heavy armor. They have many ways to win a pure tank versus tank battle and various tank-related upgrades. However, they might find it difficult killing the enemy infantry forces as their hammerhead is armed with autocannons rather than machine guns. And this is really cool, actually. I'm not sure how it's going to change the dynamic of the faction. I think it's going to make them even more... It's going to put them in a really big bind as to how to deal with infantry, because Steel Talons really rely heavily on the hammerheads to deal with infantry, and in this situation the hammerheads are very much more... I mean, they serve more like the Predator tank purpose, and we'll see that in game, no doubt. But change content, the Titan is stronger, slower, but cannot shoot over buildings. I don't know if I like that change. I think it's maybe just to address the fact that they are stronger. It would make them just a little bit too strong early game. But anyways, we'll have to see how that goes. Mutant mercenaries, they replace the riflemen, so the mutants are actually going to get used. I don't know about the context in which they're being used, as far as like being part of Steel Talons. It seems kind of odd to me, like in the terms of the lore, but hey, that's okay. But it replaces riflemen, similarly strong as Confessor Cabals, which were nerfed. So these guys are very strong. So essentially, Steel Talons now have the equivalent of Confessor Cabals, which is really strange when you consider them, when you contrast them with the 1.02 or 1.02 plus. Wow, I can't speak. 1.02 plus versions of themselves. It's very different to say the least. But new content, Talon combat armor increases the armor of behemoths, wolverines, and harvesters. Note that the behemoths have equal HP to juggernauts before the upgrade. And then the heavy hammerhead is a big change. Hammerheads are armed with anti-tank autocannons. They also move very, very slow in comparison to the standard hammerheads. So we'll scroll to the next page. Some rocket pods have been added, provides heavy hammerheads with anti-aircraft rocket launchers. So that's going to be interesting because, I mean, ideally with hammerheads, you'd be looking to go for maybe Firehawks to try to deal with them. Firehawks could potentially get shot down by these rocket pods. Firestorm troopers have been added, so that's going to be equivalent to the zone troopers. Needs to be unlocked with the weaponized Firestorm, so there's upgrades and stuff that need to be purchased in order to get some of these higher tier units. The microwave tank, it looks and acts very much in the same way that the Shatterer tank does. For those of you that don't know Tiberian Sun, the microwave tank was actually an old unit, and it was actually a really cool unit. But they're saying it's a unit similar to the Shatterer, but excels at killing structures and heavy infantry. The Thunderhead, I haven't actually seen this one yet, so that's a tier 4 unique tank. Faster and more damaging than a Mammoth, but less tanky, needs to be unlocked first. Interesting. And then the Falcon Commando, armed with a railgun and can call orbital strikes or EMP shockwave. So similar to, you know, the what's the word I'm looking for? The prodigy of like Traveler 59 and you know, the Commando from both GDI and Nod. So Falcon Commando, that should be interesting. Zocom, much like the vanilla game, Zocom has superb infantry and aircraft forces. Zocom focuses more on armor and area of effect damage rather than high damage per target. Zocom might lack the AP ammo upgrade. I thought it said that AP ammo upgrade was available for all factions. Interesting. However, units like Shatterers, APCs, and Rigs can be upgraded with additional armor. So also tanks can be upgraded with sonic shells, which is their equivalent to railguns. Zocom Orcas have been redesigned, and Firehawks can be upgraded with ceramic armor and hardpoints. So Firehawks are going to be scary in this mod. So anyways, new content, without wasting too much more time. New content, Echo Trooper, it's artillery infantry unit. Artillery infantry unit, okay, I haven't actually seen these guys yet. So can shoot through obstacles and has a jetpack. Whoa, okay. Sonic Shells equips Mammoths, Predators, and Guardian Cannons. I'm sorry, Mammoths, Predators, Guardian Cannons, and Rigs with higher damage Sonic Shells. So essentially it's the equivalent of railguns. Red Arrow is their commando with a sonic grenade launcher and the ability to repair structures. Has an improved jetpack. The ability to repair structures seems like it could be pretty strong, but I would imagine that unit's pretty expensive. The Aurora Bomber, that's a new unit entirely. T4 Sonic Bomber, tier 4 that is, with high speed and long range. While not very damaging, it has massive AoE. And I've seen these units in game. They are pretty insane looking, and they certainly move around pretty quick. Extreme Condition Armor improves armor of APCs 100%, Shatterers 20%, and Slingshots 20%. Zocom Orca, it's cheaper, has more similar... It's cheaper and more similar to normal Orcas, as I can actually read. Can be upgraded with hard points and ceramic armor. Deals additional damage to structures. So pretty strong against structures. I know those of you guys that are sitting there watching the video, you're maybe thinking, let's get into the action. Well, we're going to get into it soon enough. Don't worry about that. We're not too far behind, but I did want to go through this information so you guys have it. The RRF, the Rapid Response Force, I believe it is. All of the known GDI core features still exist, but RRF also features more inner diversity on top of that. So the RRF actually replaces the base GDI faction. So as RRF, you can use bulldogs and pit bulls similar to bikes and buggies, or may equip orcas with the mortar loadout once mortars have been researched. On top of that, I'm assuming RRF can research a speed upgrade for their heavy vehicles like mammoths, which increases their speed by 20%. So change content, AP ammo also affects harvesters and commandos, so harvesters will actually get AP ammo. That's interesting. Mortar upgrade allows orcas to switch loadout to mortars similar to firehawks. I don't know how the mortars on the orcas work yet. That one doesn't make sense to me yet, but increased damage against structures and heavy infantry. Okay, now it makes sense. If I just took the time to read instead of talk. New content, tactical fiber armor, increases the speed and armor of ox transports and orcas. Not sure how much it's going to matter with ox transports. Those, I mean, they do get shot down on occasion, but it's usually when they're just being used to scout anyways. But orcas getting extra armor is pretty nice. Sonic propulsion increases the speed of mammoth tanks, predators, rigs, and MCVs by 20%. Actually, that's a pretty good upgrade right there. And then Bulldog is the anti-infantry version of the Pit Bull, so essentially it's just got a gun on it. I think it's more like a shotgun, like it doesn't fire a constant stream. It's kind of like just quick burst, but can be upgraded with mortars. I can't remember how how the Bulldogs work off the top of my head. Cool name for it though. I like that. So that's going to be it for our GDI factions. We do Nod? Yeah, we can. Alright, so let's do Nod real quick. We're just going to run through this real quick. So all Nod factions, Black Hand comes out at $700, carries 5 units. Okay, so I think the squad was maybe 3 or 4 units before. They're faster, but they're also much less tanky. Raider Buggy deals much more damage, but also has less health. And then the Secret Shrine heals infantry like the Armory. I guess it didn't before. That's interesting. Black Hand. So Black Hand still revolves heavily around strong infantry forces and thermal-based weapons, but their units have been brought down to a reasonable level. Essentially, they got a nerf. Overall, the faction has much more to offer, especially in the Tier 3. The Black Hand has a lot more armored firepower, as well as infantry forces to being much more diverse. So, essentially, it's not just going to be the infantry and tank spam that you've seen out of them before. Confessional Balls deal less damage, have less health, and their aura only increases rate of fire by 25%. That's actually a pretty significant nerf. You can actually now call them balanced. Well, we'll have to put that one to the test. Purifiers, they come out at $2,700. I think that's down from $3,000. I think that's the case. A unit and the flamethrower deals less damage. And has lower area of effect. So, I mean, they got their cost reduced, but they also got a nerf, so that's interesting. The Aggressor, which looks a little bit like a stealth tank, cheaper stealth tank without stealth, has high rocket damage resistance and can increase their armor temporarily. So I'm assuming there's like a toggleable ability. Black Templar looks like it's a Zone Trooper equivalent with shorter range but much more health. Can be upgraded with Black Disciples and Fusion Lasers. So that should be interesting. I'm assuming that's going to be like a Tier 1, Tier 2 infantry. Consecrated shells. I'm not sure what that word means, but I'll take you on your word for it. Increases damage of all Scorpion tanks and Spectres and adds additional damage over time. Interesting. Autoloader increases the fire rate for Scorpion tanks, replaces Dozer Blades for Scorpions. Interesting. Scorcher Buggy. A Raider Buggy with a flamethrower that cannot attack air, but deals splash damage and bonus damage to structures. So that could actually be really, really strong early game. So maybe we'll see a shift more towards Scorcher Buggies as opposed to infantry spam early game. Fusion Lasers increases the damage of all Black Templars, Purifiers, and Laser Cannons. Siege Cadre is the sniper equivalent. I'm assuming this is their commando unit, which can also harm vehicles and buildings lightly. So, very interesting. The Mark of Kane, apart from having a powerful cybernetic infantry forces, the Mark of Kane vehicles do not excel in direct engagements due to their subpar firepower, but have a wide range of supporting abilities. Also, Mark of Kane benefited greatly from stronger infantry, and most units have a unique ability to them. This is one of the factions which changed the most and best, not compared with the other Nod factions, especially since Mark of Kane lacks Scorpion tanks and attack bikes. Whoa, okay. So the Awakened strong tier 2 anti-infantry unit. So their tier 2 unit can be upgraded with cybernetic legs and laser matrix. We'll have to check out what those are a little bit later. Tiberium Trooper, starting infantry, slow, expensive, short range, but high damage and can clear structures. I think that's what you get from selling off Shredder turrets, but it's going to be kind of similar to the way that you get with Mark of Kane, or rather with the Awakened squads with 1.02. You sell it off, you get like one of the members of the squad, but these guys move pretty slow, but they can clear out structures. So kind of similar to the way that Scrin operates in that respect. But anyways, cybernetic leg upgrade, more expensive, provides auto heal, but boosts speed to a lesser degree. The auto heal might actually be a bit broken. I haven't actually seen that yet. I didn't know that they auto healed. That's pretty insane. So that upgrade seems like it's going to be necessary almost right off the bat. Drone buggy, a more expensive buggy with lasers and a repair drone. So again, it sounds like a lot of their units have the ability to trade cost effectively in that they can repair themselves over time. So the Reaper, the Reaper is actually a cool one. I've seen this a couple times. The more expensive rocket militants with more damage, more health, but slightly less speed and range. Cannot be crushed. Cannot be crushed. Very important to know that. The Mantis, basically a better armored bike, which is faster than a Pitbull and deals more damage. It is repaired 33% faster. I'm assuming that means that if you repair it at like a war factory, it's going to be repaired 33% faster. But anyways, the Liquefier tank, which is essentially their equivalent of a flame tank. It's cheaper, better armored flame tank for countering heavy infantry. Not great against buildings from my understanding, so I'm not sure that they're going to serve the right purpose. But anyways, the Centurion, this is probably the coolest looking unit in the entire game that I've ever seen, and I think this comes from CNC4, which makes me want to just vomit, but it is a damn cool looking unit, and I think it's the same thing for the Reaper. I think it also comes from CNC4, but anyways, it's a tier 2 tank which takes less damage from the front, can be upgraded with supercharged particle beams. It's just a cool looking tank. I don't know how strong it is really. I've got mixed feelings about it, but it looks damn cool when you're playing the game. The laser matrix is an upgrade. It increases damage for drone buggies, Reapers, laser turrets, and Awakened squads. And then finally the Renegades, which is going to be the equivalent of the Nod Vanilla. Renegades is in general features more options, and their emphasis on nuclear technology helps their late game in particular. Desolators are very powerful tier 4 heavy anti-tank infantry units, or rather heavy anti-tank and infantry units, and units with nuclear components can leave a devastating mark on the battlefield. Apart from that, improved militants and avatars, as well as charged particle, blah, 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 blah. Alright, I'm just going to start skimming through some of this stuff. So militants, more health and damage. Tiberium Infusion now also affects Black Hand squads. Some new content, we have nuclear components. So Spectres, Vertigos, Dawnbringer devices have nuclear components, which can, I believe, just blow themselves up over time, or maybe it just leaves like a field, an area of effect field of damage over time when they die. The Desolator, heavy anti-vehicle and anti-infantry unit, deals abysmal damage to structures. I'm assuming that means it's really bad damage to structures. Yeah, I'm assuming that's what that means. Shots from this unit generate fields of radiation, which deals infantry damage over time, I'm assuming. The Avatar deals more damage, slightly faster, have less health. Can be upgraded with laser capacitors. Dawnbringer device, it's essentially just a, like, I don't know if you've ever seen the suicide vehicles in, it's a suicide vehicle. You drive it in and it blows up. Pretty straightforward. It does, I would say, lackluster damage for the cost, in my opinion. Plus it's super easy to destroy. So you can actually kill your own units with it more than you kill the enemy. But we'll have to see if people use it well. Hidden explosives allows vehicles to kill themselves, dealing damage to enemy units. Detonated avatars won't leave a husk. So that's interesting. You can detonate your avatars if they're about to die and prevent them from being captured by your enemy. Combat drugs, special rate of fire increase by 50%. Speed increase by 25%, armor by 10%, and makes them less suppressible. affected units will lose 30% of their health. So you get a pretty big boost there of damage and speed and armor, but you lose 30% of your health, so that's pretty significant. You'll have to make a judgment in the field as to whether or not that's worth it. Charge particle beams increases the damage of shredder shards and confessors. Pretty straightforward. Let's take a look at Scrin. We'll have to do this one real quick. I know I've been talking for a long time, guys. I'm going to try to rip through this stuff. So all Scrin factions, Dissolver Warprey Cannon. So I'm assuming this is the replacement. Okay, so actually Phantom just mentioned on Skype that there is a game waiting in the lobby for me. So I do appreciate you holding something for me. We'll be real quick. So Scrin factions, Dissolver Warprey Cannon replaces shard launchers, which with constant streams of dark energy, equally strong to shard launchers. Interesting. Leeches. They look like the little... Oh god, what are they called? Anyways, I can't remember what they're called. New default infantry for Scrin factions. They're cheap, fast, tough, and deal damage over time. However, they have a short range. Ravager's a lot cheaper, but also has a weaker ability. So I think we saw Ravagers not too long ago in a tournament, and they were just absolutely devastating. I think it was actually the FFA tournament, and they were just absolutely wreaking havoc. But anyways, we'll have to see if we see them today. Deals grenade damage to infantry units, so pretty strong. Growth Stimulator has more health, so it's a little bit more viable for the Scrin factions to actually create. We'll have to see how much more health they actually get. The Mechapede, individual segments cost more and are better balanced. Every segment has different strengths and weaknesses. Purchasing shards is no longer an auto option. I'm assuming that means that shards are still in the game, but they're just balanced with the other options as far as the Mechapede's choices go. Can be upgraded with force field generators. Interesting. Okay, so Reaper 17 still our powerful ground-based army, but now feature a range of supportive units and abilities to cover their weaknesses. The main feature of Reaper 17 is that nearly all vehicles can be mutated into different forms, which gives them unique abilities or a completely new combat role. That's interesting. Mutations. Reaper 17 vehicles can now purchase individual upgrades called mutations. I think you can do this with each individual unit, not just the, like, all, you know, corruptors have to be upgraded to a specific type. I think it's you select which ones you want, which is real interesting. A mutation can only be performed near a corruptive aura. I think that's spelled wrong. Which is a visible green field around key structures such as refineries. Most units have 2 mutation options, where one mutation must be unlocked with the enriched iCore upgrade. That's interesting. So that means that you can't do these upgrades out in the field. You have to make these decisions back at base. So you're not going to catch anybody off guard. That loses a little bit of the luster for me. Sorry, I was scrolling through and... anyways, unit Manhunter it replaces the Seeker Tank. Faster, more damage, and higher range, but more expensive and cannot shoot the air. Oh god, I'm scrolling too fast. Alright, here we go. Shardling. Replaces the Buzzer, has more health, deals more damage to non-infantry units, and can shoot out of buildings. Force Field Generators also affects Devourer Tanks and Corruptors, and from what I understand, Mechapedes, but I don't know if these guys have Mechapedes. Conversion Reserves now increases damage by 20% regardless if the unit is charged or not. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Alright, we'll have to see how it shakes out. New content, we have Armored Articulators, increases the armor and speed of all infantry units except Shardlings, which I think are the base unit. Enriched iCore allows units to mutate into advanced forms. Infested, Reaper 17 equivalent to Fanatics, can be upgraded with Armored Articulators. It requires the Infestation Spores upgrade before it can be built. The Scourge, which looks like... Whoa, that actually looks like a Raider from Battlestar Galactica. Replaces Storm Riders. They fire shards and serve as fast anti-infantry and anti-aircraft unit, can be upgraded with blue shards. Interesting. So Traveler 59, similar to the vanilla Traveler 59, they completely lack heavy attack units, but instead focus on speed and supportive disruptive tactics of all kinds to gain an edge on the battlefield. Traveler 59 have completely unique infantry, which fit their own playstyle, and among other things can provide storm columns with stealth fields and vehicles with auto-healing capabilities. Storm columns with stealth fields, that's different. So Cultists are more expensive, move slower, have less health, and shorter range, so they got a massive nerf. Temporal Wormhole now only requires the Stasis Chamber. Ooh, okay. I see what you're doing. Alright, Advanced Blink Packs, new content. we have allows Mind Phasers, Seeker Tanks, Annihilator Tripods, and the Prodigy to teleport. Tripods cannot act for a couple seconds after teleporting, so that's interesting. So I think the idea there is to prevent them from being teleporting themselves and then instantly EMPing something, but I still think that's going to be really strong regardless. Ichor agglutinogen, I think that's the word. Increases the speed of all vehicles and allows them to heal themselves between fights. Mind Phasers and anti-structure and anti-infantry unit, which fires waves of energy that can damage multiple foes at once. Sorry guys, I didn't proofread this ahead of time, so I'm struggling with it a little bit. Agonizer, similar to Shock Troopers, but with less health and higher speed, and by that we mean movement speed, can be upgraded with personal cloaking devices. So that should be interesting. Chaos Lightning creates lightning in the targeted area, which makes enemy units attack their own allies. And the Neural Network reveals the position of all enemy units on the map. That's hopefully very expensive. We'll have to see. But anyways, and there's more. Cascading Haze, which equips all storm columns with a medium-sized stealth field. That's what we were talking about before. So I don't know if any units that come into that range also get the stealth, or if it's just strictly the storm columns themselves. And then the Mind Breaker Swarm, flying squad of anti-infantry units. Whoa, that should be interesting. I haven't seen that unit yet. Messenger 8, very similar to the vanilla Scrin, with a much more macro-oriented playstyle and good defensive capabilities. Shielding, ion storms, and armor upgrades allows units to stay longer in the game. Structures can benefit from iron storms. Veteran units support the okay. Shielded Harvester. Alright, so they get Shielded Harvesters. New content, Combat Shield Uplink provides Tier 1 and Tier 2 units with it in the area with a shield. Wormhole Transport Training? Makes all newly trained Seeker Tanks, Gunwalkers, and Devourer Tanks come trained at Veteran status. That's interesting. Ion Supercharge increases damage of Gunwalkers and allows them to ionize targets. Ionized structures heal themselves and have better armor. That's actually going to be real good. Corrosive Ichor drastically increases damage of Corruptors, so we could see some Corruptor rushes maybe. Exoskeleton Adaptation. That's a couple of words. Increases armor of all infantry units except for buzzers. And as the music ends and my spiel ends, we're going to be headed into our first game of the day, folks. So thank you for sticking with me here. I know I've been running through this for quite a long time. I think we're about a half hour in, and I've been just talking to you. So we'll start talking about some actual gameplay here in a moment. So be sure to stick around. All right, everybody, so the quick bracket rundown, because we didn't actually go through this earlier, I wanted to make sure to get you guys the mod information so you have a little bit of info to work with prior to actually jumping into the game. But anyways, let's take a look at the bracket. These guys are already underway, so we're going to try to play some catch-up here, but we should get some good matches. So the round one, which looks like it was our round of 16, only featured Salamis versus Steel Reaper. Salamis came through with a 2-0 victory there. We're actually headed into the match between Salamis and Dragon 99. And then down below that, we got the Rockets taking on the Wank Bank, and we got the Rockets walks away with a 2-0 victory there. Dimitri CNC taking on Geshko takes a 2-0 victory there. Imaginary Number versus OneVISION, and OneVISION, coincidentally enough, takes a 2-0 victory there. And OneVISION actually potentially going to be looking to get into the finals of a OneVISION mod tournament. That should be interesting, but Dimitri, I'm sure, will have something to say about that. So anyways, we're going to try to get through our quarterfinal series here, quarterfinals match, so that way we can head into the semifinals and then on into the finals. So it's probably going to be a relatively quick event here today, but we should have some good games nonetheless. Hope you guys are all having fun so far. We're going to be jumping into our very first game here any second, so be sure to stick around. Hello everybody and welcome to game number 1 of our quarterfinal series, and that brings us to the map Tournament Decision. And spawning down in the bottom left corner as the orange Zircon, we have Salamis. And then sliding up into the top right corner, his opponent here today as the red Messenger 8, we have Dragon 99. And I just realized I have these guys' names and positions mixed up, so let me just fix this, and bam, there we go. Alright, this is game number 1. Holy lag, Batman, what is going on? Why am I lagging? I don't understand where the lag is coming from. Okay, I'm not sure where the lag is coming from, guys. I do apologize about that, but hopefully it clears itself up here in the next few seconds. So Messenger 8 versus Zircon should be an interesting matchup. Let's take a look and see what these builds are so far. Yeah, geez, I don't know what's going on with this lag. We'll have to just suffer through it, I think, for this game, and we'll get it sorted out in the next game. Maybe I need to restart or something. I don't quite know. But anyways, let's take a look. It looks like it is pretty standard openings here. It doesn't look like anybody really went too crazy. We do have some engineers out here for Salamis. Only one engineer? Only one engineer right now, so these guys just kind of squaring off here in the middle of the map, not terribly shocking. GDI going to have a bit of an advantage here in the early game over those little infantry units. I can't remember what they're called right now. Actually, let's see if we can find them. Leeches. They're pretty strong. They do get de-garrisoned, but luckily he manages to grab another garrison, he being Dragon 99, and he's quite happy with that by the looks of it. So he's just going to be able to keep some scouting information. So Salamis realizing now that he's got an opportunity, he's going to send a rifleman squad down to the base of Dragon 99, try to get some scouting information. But again, nothing too crazy right now. These guys just ecoing up. So we'll likely see maybe a good Tier 2, Tier 3 fight in this game. It's kind of what you would come to expect in this game anyways. But for those of you that don't know, Zircon on this map, typically not amazing unless you go super heavy aircraft. Just because they end up in an artillery battle that they just can't win over these ridges and whatnot. But obviously they do have some artillery options this time around, not to mention that their aircraft are still very strong. So we'll have to see what these guys choose to go for here. Pretty standard stuff. Gunwalker actually coming out now, going to be looking to get an anti-scout on this rifleman squad, but that rifleman squad has something to say about it. He's going to look to run for the garrison, probably going to look Yeah, okay, so he's just going to run straight for this garrison. Would be better to get into this bunker if he can reach it, but I think it's going to be too far. Ooh, it's going to be close. He only gets one member of that squad in there, but it should be able to stay in there for quite a while. It will get de-garrisoned in a little while, but not a whole lot more to be said early on. Again, these guys probably going to be playing a little bit safe here, just going to try to feel comfortable with both the mod and their decisions here. So it's triple refinery there coming out from Salamis. Let's take a look and see what's coming out from Dragon. So Dragon also going for triple refinery. He's up to tier 2. He's got that stasis chamber, or rather nerve center down. Not stasis chamber. Sphere is down. These guys probably wondering how to get up to tier 3. So something I do remember, and I'm not sure if it's been changed since I last played, but the thing that I remember is that getting up to tier 3 is a bit of a struggle because you have to have the armory or the equivalent depending on the faction. So it is a little bit trickier to get to tier 3. You do have to, it essentially forces you to build a barracks, which, I mean, unless you're going to sell it off straight away just to get up to the tech, you should be looking to produce some infantry off of it. So I'm not sure how much I like the forced decision to try to require you to pump out infantry or really force the issue, but I understand the idea behind it. Because otherwise there may be a ton of infantry that just go completely unchecked due to the fact that, you know, vanilla Kane's Wrath, generally speaking, doesn't have the strongest infantry for all factions, aside from maybe not. But anyways, just more rambling. These guys kind of playing a bit campy here. Really not a whole lot going on. Again, Salamis and Dragon 99, we're not talking about Master Leap and Bike Rush here, but all the same, going to be, I think, relatively even skill level, so it should be a decent fight between these guys. It's not going to be like just a one-player stomp fest. But then again, I don't know entirely. It looks like it's going to be double airfield here. Double airfield Firehawk coming out from Salamis, so he's got that tier 3 up and running. Actually, I think the tier 3 requirements changed, because I don't see any armory down, and he's got his tier 3, so I'm pretty sure that changed. Anyways, it's looking like we've got a number of Devourer tanks sitting in the middle of the map, joined by some Gunwalkers, so pretty standard play coming out from Dragon 99. Not really looking to use anything that's too special to the Messenger 8 faction here. And looks like he's just now going for the expansion. No expansion coming out yet from Salamis. He's going to be looking to do that soon, because otherwise he's going to run himself out of Tiberium, and that's going to put him in a really bad position. Sonic emitter being dropped preemptively, that's really unnecessary. It's a lot of money being invested into Sonic emitters, and by that I mean just one Sonic emitter, but all the same. Well, I mean, there is this force coming, and luckily that Sonic emitter's in a reasonably good place. Could be better. Mammoth Tank comes out, doesn't have Sonic Shells upgraded just yet, so it's going to be a little bit weak against these tripods. If you guys don't know, the tripods actually do quite well against these guys. Anyways, negative energy lance. Whoa, look at the energy beams. Holy moly, that damage too. Wow, they do a lot of damage. What is that negative energy lance? Increases damage of all Devourer tanks, Annihilator tripods, and planetary assault carriers. Whoa, okay. Alright. We do have Zone Raiders coming out here from Salamis to try to deal with this. They're getting chased off by the Gunwalkers. Doesn't need to be careful, doesn't want to lose those Zone Raiders unnecessarily. They do get baited into the Sonic emitters here, so luckily these tripods at long enough range where they can pick off both a Mammoth Tank and a Harvester for free, and this Harvester coming and collecting the remains of his buddy there, saying, "Rip in pepperonis, my friend." And Firehawks looking like they're returning from a bombing run. What did they hit? Probably tier 3, be my guess. Yeah, I'm imagining it's tier 3, so those Firehawks may have been flying around for a few bombing runs at this stage. I did just miss it. Hammerhead's upgraded with that ceramic armor, and no Aurora bombers coming out just yet. May not actually get to see them. Those Firehawks are quite good, especially since they have ceramic armor and hard points. I would almost say that they're probably more worthwhile than the Aurora bombers. I have such a hard time with that word. Not gonna lie. Firehawks back out on the move. Do they have Stratofighter? I don't know if they have Stratofighter. God, let me click on one of them. There we go. No, they do not have Stratofighter. So no Stratofighter on the Firehawks, so that's interesting. They do manage to get a refinery for their trouble, but now it's looking like Dragon 99 gonna try to push into this. Let's see. tripods, they're going to want to come forward and maybe start doing some damage. Nope. I guess they're just going to... Oh, okay. Stasis chamber. Whoa, great stasis chamber. Comes down, locks down 2 sonic emitters and about 6 scorpion, or rather predator tanks. I always want to call them scorpion tanks. Charged up devourer tanks coming in. Going to be looking to focus down the harvesters. I agree with the decision to focus down the harvesters first. Get these guys off the map and really punch your opponent's economy in the throat here. Now these tripods are going to be running through, just absolutely annihilating everything. Rocket squad's being pumped out here to try to deal with this, but the anti-infantry coming out from Dragon 99 is going to be enough to hold the line against this. Firehawks continuing to go for more bombing runs. The Hammerheads are going to try to hold the line here, but oh wait, do the Gunwalkers not have the ability to fire on aircraft anymore? No, I think they do. I think they're just on a move order. And the tripod's just running through the base here. They're going to manage to take down the airfield, and that's going to deny any opportunity here for Salamis to get his Firehawks rearmed. So that means they will burn up over time. And unfortunately, Salamis, it's looking like he's getting completely destroyed in this game. No, all of the anti-air has gone. The Gunwalkers have no way of dealing with these Hammerheads, and now the Annihilator tripods. What? I don't know what support power that was. It looked like an EMP, but I'm thinking it wasn't an EMP. I don't know what that was. What support power was that?
Unit under attack. Unit under attack.
Oh, so that was the combat shield uplink that we just saw coming out from Dragon 99. Fires an energetic beam from space to the targeted location. The energy will be absorbed by minor vehicles and grant them a protecting shield. I don't think it works on tripods, though. Very interesting. Anyways, we'll switch back to observer mode here. It's looking like the power has been taken out here. Oh, do we have a commando running around? Nope, no commando. All right, but shock troopers coming out in mass, it looks like. Not sure what they're coming up to deal with, probably the Hammerheads. The Hammerheads have managed to clean up all the tripods, so Salamis is still in this game. And he's managed to rebuild his airfield, so his Firehawks are still alive. That ceramic armor paying dividends there, man. I'll tell ya. Holy moly. Barely surviving. And only 2 Firehawks can get repaired at a time, or maybe 3? I think it's 3 Firehawks getting repaired at a time. That's interesting. But anyways, it's looking like the shock troopers now have the exoskeleton adaptation upgrade. Makes infantry forces more resilient to damage and upgrades shock troopers with blink packs. Very interesting. All right, so they have the ability to blink around the map, and they can potentially come in and snipe down some Hammerheads. These Hammerheads all have veteran status upgraded right now. And a couple of tripods now going over to the hands of Salamis. He's going to feel pretty good about that. And I think... I don't know if they still benefit from any... No, they don't get any of the upgrades. Let's take a look and see what's going on in the middle of the map. Couple of Predator tanks rolling through here. Sonic Shell's still not upgraded, so looking like maybe he's not intending to go for any kind of... armor push here in the near future, but Watchtower's now coming down. No AP ammo done. Whoa, wait a second. That says tungsten AA shells. Alright. I don't know if that's a bug or if that's intended. It definitely says tungsten. Wait, does that mean that Watchtowers can fire on aircraft? So, just so you guys know, those little notes that we went through at the beginning don't cover everything. They cover a lot, but they don't cover everything. So there's going to be some stuff in here that's going to kind of blow my mind throughout the day. So don't be shocked when I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But anyways, Firehawk's still on the move, and these Firehawks may in fact be the saving grace here for Salamis. He needs to come in and get a bombing run, I think, on this airfield, or on the extractor. He just needs to slow down the refining here from Dragon 99. Yeah, it forces the sell-off there. Nice move from Dragon 99 to be of peace of mind to sell that. Waits till the bombs were in the air and actually gets the sell-off, so at least gets his money back for it. A little bit of money, that is. But the game's slowed down quite a bit just because a lot of refineries have been lost. Shock troopers and gunwalkers on the move up to the top side of the map. It looks like maybe they're going to circle around and try to clean up this original main. They do need to be careful, though. The sonic emitter. So potentially a bug here. I think he's deployed his own lightning spike. Okay, so he deployed a lightning spike to try to kill off his own tripod husk, but he can't actually kill it off. That does look like it probably is a bug. And that's a bit unfortunate because that means he spent money on this lightning spike for nothing. It has Ion Supercharge, which means it increases the damage of gunwalkers, improves armor and health regeneration of buildings when affected by Ion weapons. Interesting. Alright, the Hammerhead's still flying around doing a bit of damage here. Do need to be careful, don't want to take too much. We do have an elite Hammerhead. That is a ceramic armor Hammerhead as well. And now these guys have been upgraded with the shields. They've got about double HP, and they're doing some work here against these Hammerheads. I'm not sure which Hammerhead went down. The elite Hammerhead is still alive. They do need to come in and try to hold the line against this. Bombs being dropped on the... Whoa! Huge damage on the shock troopers. That may actually turn the tide, though. These gunwalkers, that's insane damage. That looks so cool. Oh, okay. So GG Dragon 99 has been defeated. Alright. I didn't think he was out of that game. I don't know what happened. But anyways, that's going to be it for that game. Yeah, not much more to say. Just Salamis got destroyed pretty early on, but those gunwalkers weren't really used to kill off the Hammerheads that were firing on his tripod. So I think it was a missed opportunity there for Dragon 99 to kill off the Hammerheads that were going to kill off his tripods, in which case his tripods would have just been able to run around the map and just completely level everything. But that wasn't the case here in this game. We'll have to see if maybe he gets something a little bit different in next game, and these guys might actually choose their factions this time around. But anyways, that's going to be it for game number 1. Game number 2 coming up shortly, everybody, so be sure to stick around. Hello everybody and welcome to game number 2, and that brings us to the map tournament decision, or not decision, Dust Bowl. Sorry, I've got decision on the mind. But spawning up in the top side of the map, and we'll have to see what his decision is going to be. As the red Steel Talons, we have Dragon 99. And then sliding down onto the bottom side of the map, as the purple Reaper 17, we have Salamis. Salamis came off of a victory in the last game, so we'll have to see if he can continue that this time around. And you guys can see this field around the MCV and the extractor here, or rather the drone ship. That is where you can actually send your units in to get upgraded with that mutation that we were talking about earlier on today. So that's what it looks like implemented in game. It can be a bit distracting in my opinion, but it is pretty damn cool looking too. So anyways, jumping into this game, we do have a couple of mutant mercenaries on the left-hand side of the map here for Dragon 99, going to be securing himself a Tiberium Spike, and also looking to get some scouting information. Disintegrators out of the map here for Salamis, so interesting, going to be seeing some early game Disintegrators coming out from him. Perhaps didn't want to invest in buzzers. Just as Disintegrators are going to live up to their namesake and disintegrate to the mutant mercenaries. I don't know if they're actually going to win this fight. Ooh, it's going to be so close! Oh! Wait, did they both lose? What? That was a perfect trade. I've never seen that before. I've actually genuinely never seen that before. Alright, cool. Alright, so scouting on the left-hand side of the map is completely eliminated for both players. It looks like, actually no, I'm sorry, there is a buzzer here for Salamis. Actually, that is a Shardling, rather. It's the equivalent of the buzzer here for Reaper 17. Looks like just some scouting trying to get some scouting information up towards the top side of the map. He did realize that there were Disintegrators out of the map. He wants to make sure that he's not being rushed. I can understand that. But anyways, we will be seeing just some standard eco play here coming out from Salamis. He's a little bit quicker on the expansion here than Dragon 99 is. Dragon looks like maybe he's going to go for some tech here prior to expanding. He has not yet expanded. He's forced to... Oh, he's pulled the Heavy Harvester off the line. I don't know about decision to pull that just yet. You could probably pump out a Pitbull or something that should be able to hold a line against this. He keeps pulling this off the line, but that's a half HP. I think he would have been fine to leave that on the line. But anyways, we won't spend too much time talking about it. Titan comes out, should be able to beat back that, what are these called anyways? Manhunters. Those will get chased away, if not destroyed. I think it was, in fact, destroyed because I don't see it on the mini-map anymore. But let's take a look. Titan just going to be kicking around. Dragon 99, he's on the move with his MCV. It's a bit risky to send this through your Tiberium field because, I mean, obviously if somebody shows up and, you know, a bunch of those Manhunters show up, they could do quite a bit of damage before the MCV is able to get off the Tiberium field. Also, it could run into some issues with the pathing of the Harvesters. But he gets away with it, so we won't worry about it too much. It's not a huge deal, but it's something that could affect your game. So you just need to be careful of it. Warp Sphere is down here for Salamis, so he's got double Warp Sphere. Not sure what he's intending to produce off of that, so it's looking like it's just going to be straight up Manhunter spam. That's interesting against this this faction here. Titan's going to be coming out there a bit. I think they're a bit stronger, but they just can't shoot over buildings, which will definitely change the dynamic in this city. But I still think they can crush units, so they can't fire over the buildings, but they can still potentially, like when they path around and finally meet these guys face to face, they can actually crush them. But anyways, we do see a couple of Wolverines out now as well. What do we have coming out from Dragon 99 now? Probably going to be a refinery on its way. Both of these guys still holding onto their Tiberium spikes. We may actually see Salamis try to snipe this Tiberium spike on the left-hand side of the map. I would like that quite a bit if he did. He's got a lot of Manhunters over here. Honestly, this is pretty much free damage right now. I think that's a missed opportunity. He could actually have killed off that Tiberium spike and also baited this force in to try to come and deal with it. He's now going to lose some Manhunters here, trying to go up toe-to-toe with these Titans. He's doing a nice job just based on the sheer number of Titans, or rather the sheer number of Manhunters that he has. And, the Titans should honestly have been moving in looking for the crushes in that situation, but the Manhunters taking pretty significant losses there. They are going to fall back. They do thin the numbers of the Titans quite a bit. So trading, I think, relatively even here. Second War Factory is down now for Dragon 99 as well. He's placed it in a bit of a different position. I don't know that I like this. I think he was expecting that the force was going to come from this direction, assuming that Salamis was going to expand off to the right. But it has, in fact, come in on the left-hand side. That makes a little bit more sense. Normally, you'd want to drop your War Factory over in this area here anyways to be able to defend your expansion. And this is precisely why those reinforcing Titans are coming from super long distance and also don't have a War Factory to sit here and have repairs from. But anyways, we're talking about macro stuff. The Titans still trying to deal with these Manhunters, and they're just screaming across the map. I think I'm going to harp again on the War Factory placement because I think that would have drastically changed the dynamic of this fight. Granted, the Manhunters could have just moved around and gone to a different position, but now all of the Titans have gone down, and I think Dragon 99 may actually be losing this game just off of the Manhunter spam from Salamis, so it's a little bit disappointing. Looks like all units are being rallied now to try to deal with these Manhunters, and rightfully so. I mean, they're literally just streaming across the map, so they're up in a number now where it's almost impossible for them to be stopped prior to a War Factory being dropped down in this area and maybe start spamming out some Titans. But it's going to take a little while for those Titans to actually come out, and I think they're a bit more expensive as well. So, yeah, it's going to be rough going here for Dragon 99 if he is going to stay alive. He keeps dropping these barracks on the front lines, but I don't know that they're necessarily going to do what he wants them to do. Where are the Titans? Yeah, see, these two War Factories way out of position. I mean, that one War Factory, obviously, not much you can do about its placement, but the second one should have been over in this area here. These Titans would have been far more useful. Looks like the Titans actually got a rate of fire reduce. Yeah, it's just, I think it's going to be the slow push to victory here for Salamis because not only is he doing a great job trading out units here with Dragon 99, but he's getting free opportunity to harvest at this time. So he's going to have a massive eco advantage. He should be teching behind this. He's not producing anything. So again, this is low-level play, guys, so it's not shocking that these guys are making kind of silly mistakes because once those Manhunters are dead, it could potentially put this game into a stalemate. Alright, so it's looking like Dragon 99 is maybe going to GG out of this game. GG, I forgot that I can build infantry. Yeah, his infantry actually would have been pretty good. I think those mutant mercenaries would have been quite good against the Manhunters, but a little bit unfortunate there. Coming in from Dragon 99, looks like he's going to potentially sell out of this game. I mean, he's still alive. I don't know if it's necessarily worth selling out at this stage. Well, he did lose his MCV. Does he still have double War Factory? He does still have double War Factory, so I don't know. I'd stay in the game. I'd sell one War Factory. Whoa, okay. Infested coming in. Infested are coming in. Not sure what they were looking for. I think they have the ability to mind control things, but not quite sure. These guys talking a little bit about how things could have been done differently, and yeah, I think it's GG. The Harvester's actually bugged out here for Salamis, I think. Looks like he's maybe going to get them back to work now, but actually, I don't think this game is over. Yeah, Salamis, the Harvester bug it's a pretty big one. That one I can understand. That's frustrating. I don't know if he actually upgraded any of his units, though. So now he's producing off of these warp spheres. They are very slow to get going here. Does he have the ability? Okay, so he does. He should be looking to upgrade, I think, these Manhunters. Since he's spending so much time investing money in them, I think he should be looking to upgrade these Manhunters. I think maybe that's what he's looking to do now. He's kind of repositioning the Manhunters around this area. No, I think he's just coming back for repairs. I don't even think he's interested in necessarily upgrading these guys. I think it's a missed opportunity here unless he's really struggling for cash to get those upgrades, because I think those upgrades will drastically improve his chances here in this fight. But there's only 5 Titans, and they're coming in kind of in a streamline here, so these Manhunters could potentially cut them off. They're just going to need to be quick about dispatching them, so the focus fire is going to be really important in this situation. Portal gets sold off. I disagree with that decision. There should have been disintegrators coming out to try to deal with this stuff. But a tripod comes out right at the last possible second, could potentially swing the fight here. But all of the Manhunters sitting on the backside while the Reaper tripod was actually tanking the damage. Now they're focusing on the... Oh no, they're focusing down the infantry. You need to focus down the Titans. let the Buzzer Hives deal with the infantry. Focus down the Titans. And Dragon 99 calls it quits. A little bit premature, but hey, I can understand the frustration. And again, these guys are still trying to learn the factions in the game, so it is a bit frustrating, I will admit, when you get hit by something or the game bugs and you don't expect it. But Dragon 99, unfortunately, going to go down there 2-0 to Salamis. So solid work there from Salamis. He secured himself a spot in the semifinals. And yeah, I don't know how much more to be said about that. I think Dragon 99, in that game, it was a missed opportunity with the War Factory placement. I think if he had his second War Factory closer to his expansion rather than further out, I think he was trying to be proactive in expecting the attack to come from the right, or he was expecting to create a force and send them to the right. But he ended up on the back foot, and that War Factory being in the wrong position really messed him up. So the biggest criticism that I could have is to move that War Factory back to your expansion, to be able to both defend it and make sure that you can produce on the front lines. So that's going to be it. Pretty interesting game. We didn't see any mutations being used in that one, but again, these guys may not be terribly familiar with it. So we'll have to see if we'll get a chance to see it later on. But anyways, that's going to be it for this series, guys. Salamis is going to be taking a 2-0 there. Going to be moving on into the semifinals, and the semifinals should be coming up momentarily, everybody, so be sure to stick around. Hello everybody and welcome to game number 1 of our best of 5 semifinal series, and that brings us to the map Tournament Rift. And spawning on the left hand side as the blue Reaper 17, we got the Rockets. And then sliding over to the right hand side as the red Reaper 17, we have Salamis. So I was actually able to identify the factions just by looking at them. That's a little bit nice off the bat. But anyways, it is going to be a little bit of a early infantry move here from Rockets. He's got some leeches and some shardlings moving around. Still not familiar with the unit name, so I will have to click on stuff in order to learn it. That's okay. I don't think you guys care. I don't know what I'm talking about anyways. I never have. But what I will be interested to see is if you can run your units into an enemy mutation field and mutate your units there, because then you could potentially catch them off guard, especially if it's a mirror like this. I'm wondering if that's been considered by the mod creator. We'll have to see. Or maybe it's intended in the instance of a ooh, unfortunate pathing there from that buzzer hive. Oh no, he does get the leech after all. Whoa, those leeches look really weird when they die. They curl up like spiders. Ooh, spiders. Ooh, just gave myself chills. Not a fan. Not a fan of spiders, my friends. But anyways, just going to be standard eco play here from both sides. Not shocking. In a situation where you don't really know what's going on with the factions, it's usually pretty rare to see people going for early rushes. I think We Got the Rockets is actually pretty comfortable on this mod. I think he's played a fair bit of it. But we'll have to see. Only time will tell. He's going for a quick expansion. He's actually expanding towards the center of the map, so an interesting move here from Rockets. Normally you would expand, obviously, down to your natural expansion, but towards the center of the map kind of indicates that he's going to be looking to go maybe a little bit more aggressive. I would say in this matchup I would give Rockets the competitive edge in that I think he's just a slightly more experienced player, and I would say that he should be the one that is favorited to come out on top in this series. We'll have to see if Salamis can put up a good fight, though. We do have a Harvester going to the blue Tiberian field here for Rockets, and he's already at this center green Tiberian field, so no expansion just yet coming out from Salamis. He may actually just go straight up to tier 2. I wouldn't disagree with that move. I don't know if he's actually spotted Rockets expansion just yet, but he does have a Manhunter that's out on the move right now. Looks like there is a Shardwalker out here for Rockets. So actually this tier 1 army here from Reaper 17 could actually be quite scary when you start getting some upgrades. Manhunters, are they going to be upgraded? Alright. I'm just reading through some of their upgrades. These tier 1 units have a ridiculous number of upgrades. So it should be quite interesting. The Manhunter's going to be coming out here from Salamis. We did see this out of him last game. I'll be interested to see the dynamic between the Shardwalkers and... Whoa, that was a weird graphical glitch. The Shardwalkers and the Manhunters. I think there's just too many Manhunters for these Shardwalkers to deal with, but the Shardwalkers are quite tanky. Wow, they're actually getting destroyed. And now the Devourer tank's going to get eliminated as well, so these Manhunters super strong. Did they actually get upgraded? I don't think they got upgraded either, so they're just very, very strong right now. And another Devourer tank going to be going down there, and Salamis may have actually just kind of cheesed his way to an early victory here. These Manhunters seem to be doing ridiculous damage. I mean, they're in pretty large numbers, but yeah, I mean, they're in very large numbers. We'll have to see how they deal with the Disintegrators here, though. They're doing pretty good against the Disintegrators. And now the question is, can he just continue to hit these units on the front lines? I think Rockets is going to be in a better position to try to hold off this panic engage here. Coming out from Salamis. So the question is, will Rockets be able to hold the line long enough and not trade too much into this? And he's actually dropped a Shardling Hive here, which is more than likely just to try to draw a fire from these units while they're actually moving around, because you can't target units while they are moving. They will fire only on the last targeted unit or the units that are in range. But anyways, they will choose to fall back there. Rocket's still getting some blue Tiberium down on the bottom side, and he's actually completely harvested out that blue Tiberium field, so that's going to be real good for him. He's going to be feeling quite good about that extra eco. He's going to need it here. He did trade a bit inefficiently here early on, but it's going to be Manhunter spam coming out in response here from Rockets, realizing that they're probably the more cost-effective method of dealing with these rather than the Devourer tanks, at least early on. Does need to be careful though. Those Shardwalkers here coming in from Salamis could potentially start doing some serious work as well. Looks looks like the Shardwalker's actually getting targeted down here. It's looking like actually the focus fire coming in from Salamis is a bit better here. So maybe I spoke a little bit too soon. But again, I think missed opportunities here. These guys choosing not to mutate these units at all. I mean, there is a cost associated with it. Okay, so Dragon99 just, I guess, mentioning to me that Phantom's good. I know that he's okay. I've got him on Skype. Just so you guys know, in the lobby we were discussing Phantom, who is the tournament host and the host of pretty much every event that we have. He is away from his computer at the moment just because of the fact that he's got an electrical storm going on around his home. But anyways, it threw me off when Dragon99 posted down there, so I had to respond to it. But anyways, Shard Launcher's going to be getting focused down here. Shard Launcher's actually a pretty good way of dealing with these Manhunters. But man, these Manhunters are just so strong. And they're not even upgraded. That's the part that's blowing my mind. I think with the upgrades, they'll actually be borderline OP. But I don't know if it's just the fact that he masked up so fast, but it just doesn't seem like they're taking any damage. And I think that Salamis still has access to the support power that allows him to call in a shield down on all of these units as well. So Rocket's just getting absolutely obliterated right now. I thought he'd be able to hold the line, and I think he was confident that he'd be able to hold the line as well, but it's not looking like that's going to end up being the case. And now he's in a tough spot here. Salamis has overwhelmed him, so I think it's the double Warp Sphere Manhunter spam that he went for. I have to imagine. No, that was just a single Warp Sphere? Really? Unless he sold one off. Man, he's just got a ridiculous number of Manhunters. I think they're a bit too tanky, but anyways, that's going to be it for We Got the Rockets. He's going to throw in the towel, and Salamis comes through victorious once again with that Reaper 17, so it's looking like that's his faction of choice this time around. Looking quite good on the day with it, so continuing his run right now. He's undefeated so far that I've seen, and I think he actually came from the early brackets as well, so he's in quite good shape right now. Must be pretty familiar with the mod, or is just really comfortable with the Manhunter spam. But it's looking like it's working out pretty well for him. 6 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock, and let's just take a look. I mean, you can see the resources. We Got the Rockets was actually ahead, and then Salamis just kept up the pressure all game. And you can see that from the kill-death ratio, 2.0 going over to Salamis to the 0.5 of We Got the Rockets. So a bit unfortunate there. But anyways, we'll save this game and we'll head into our next one. So game number 2 going to be coming up momentarily, everybody, so be sure to stick around. All right, hello everybody, and welcome to game number 2 of our best of 5 semifinal series, and that brings us to the map Tournament Tower. And spawn in the upper left-hand corner, the man that is up 1-0 in this series so far, is looking quite good on his yellow Reaper 17. We have Salamis. And then sliding down into the bottom right position, man that's down 0-1 as the Cyan Black Hand. We Got the Rockets. And we'll just fix this real quick. There we go. Scoreboard is up and running. So Salamis getting that Reaper 17 faction once again. Again, these guys have been choosing random, so they haven't been choosing Reaper 17 or anything like that. Rocket's known for being a nod player on standard game modes, and getting Black Hand this time around may feel a bit more at home with this faction, but we'll have to see. But again, remember the Confessor Cabal squad's got a pretty significant nerf, and obviously bikes have been changed around as well, so should be interesting to see how things work out this time around. I think that he's going to have a bit of an easier time dealing with these Manhunters that are inevitably coming out from Salamis. I think it's just been too powerful for him to not consider going for it again in this game. So the question is what will Rocket's response be? Or will Salamis try to mind game this and just go for some completely other strat? But I don't see any other strat that would really be super viable early. He's just been so good with these Manhunters, so we'll have to see how it works out. And again, I know that we were talking earlier about the Manhunters being really strong. I don't know that it's necessarily that they're too strong, or if it's just they were just massed up in such a large number. They managed to catch Rockets off guard. I know the numbers advantage has been pretty significant in the last 2 games that we've seen them really wreaking havoc. We'll have to see if that ends up staying true this time around, or maybe Rockets has the answer to it. We'll have to see. But anyways, Confessor Cabal's going to be looking to get some scouting information. Actually, don't get any great scouting information. Really bad extractor placements, in my opinion. These could have been way more efficient, but he's likely just trying to rush to get this stuff down. It looks like our lag has more or less gone away, but it's still here a little bit. These harvesters, I think, are nearly in range of the War Factory. Unfortunately, the War Factory is just a touch too far away. That one's going to get pulled off the line. He gets almost a full load of Tiberium off, though, so he doesn't have to worry about it too much. And yeah, that Manhunter should actually be choosing to fire on a different harvester at this stage. More than likely going to have to see a Scorpion tank out to try to deal with him. Some scouts fighting in the top side of the map. Scouts in the middle here. Oh, whoa! Didn't even see this Reckoner. Completely missed it. Dual Blackhand Reckoner coming in. Does manage to kill off the Warp Sphere. Is going to get him an Extractor as well. Could potentially see an Assimilator come out. Is it going to come out in time? It's going to be close, but the Blackhand actually jump out. They're going to kill off the Assimilator on their own, but that's going to give a Buzzer Hive time to drop down here and could potentially kill off all of these Blackhand squads. Oh, that's so devastating. All the Blackhand get killed off there, so the Extractor does still go down. But they do manage to kill off an Assimilator. I think it would have been more worthwhile for them to just stay inside of that Reckoner, but it's over now, so it looks like it has been held off. The Blackhand squad's not doing as much damage as they used to. At least it doesn't look that way, because that Extractor would have been dead in pretty much any other situation. But Scorpion tank out now, probably trying to beat back that Manhunter that was back in his base. But now we have Scorcher Buggies coming out here from Rockets. We'll have to see how strong these guys are. They're actually quite an interesting looking unit. They have a little flame that's kind of burning on the front. I like the way that they look. The animations are actually quite good, and they're firing on the ground, you can see. Nice of them to do that for us. But anyways, I'm not sure how the how the Scorcher Buggies will do against the Manhunters, because I would have to imagine there's just going to be dual Warp Sphere Manhunter spam. So that gives a whole different definition to man spam. It's Manhunter spam. Interesting. Okay, so there are attack bikes. I thought this was the faction that only got Mantis, but there are still attack bikes. So Scorcher Buggies and attack bikes should be an interesting dynamic here against these Manhunters. Let's see how the flame weapons do against these. But we do have Scorpion tanks coming in as well. I think the Scorpion tank's going to get focused down straight away, just because that's the major damage dealer here. And then these Scorcher Buggies will get focused down pretty quickly after that, I would imagine. They're not doing real big damage to these Manhunters. Still no real clear answer to these Manhunters. I think it's going to be Scorpion tanks. I think, honestly, just a straight-up fight, I think Scorpion tanks win. I don't know what changes were done to these Manhunters that just makes them seem so much stronger than regular Seeker tanks. They must be more tanky, because it just looks like they're taking insane amounts of damage. But then again, the damage values have been changed on a lot of these units. So, whoa, drone ship coming way far forward. So Salamis getting really aggressive here. So it's just Manhunter spam again. All right, so the question is this the new man spam equivalent in OneVISION? The Manhunter spam. You just added another part of the word spam. Rocket Squad's probably going to have to come out here. I don't know what the clear answer to this is. I mean, they just seem so tanky. They actually do all right against rockets. So let's see, they're going to try to take down these manhunters, but they're actually getting repairs now from the repair drones being called in by Salamis. The question is, what is Salamis doing in the meantime? Well, his MCV is moved all the way forward, so it's going to make these infantry a bit more difficult to use because he's got build rate is all the way up to this point here, and this Shardling Hive is going to kind of eliminate any possibility for these infantry to really hold the line here. Salamis with the Manhunter spam looking quite good. Scorpion tank's getting focused down, so again, he's just got into a situation now where he's just got Manhunters that are spammed up in large enough numbers to where there's just not enough units coming out quickly enough to try to deal with them. They're so cost efficient now that they're going to come in. Not sure what these invested do. I haven't actually seen what these guys do yet. Looks like they're maybe... Are they suicide units? They must be. It looks like they have a bomb on them, so they must be... Whoa! Holy cow, that damage! Managed to take down 2 of the Scorpion tanks straight away. I think that's lights out for Rockets. I think he's just got to toss the towel in on this game and just hope for a better faction or maybe a better start next game. But, geez, Salamis looking real good on this Reaper 17. He's figured out the way to abuse it, that's for sure. Sells off the MCV. And that's going to be it. We got the Rockets has been defeated once again. So despite my early predictions, Salamis looking super strong. That Reaper 17 really going to be working hard for him. And the Manhunters coming through victorious in that game as well. So we've seen 2 games, well, I think the last 3 or 4 games now that have just been straight up Manhunter spam. And it's been significantly more powerful than any response coming out from any player so far. We'll have to see if We Got the Rockets is maybe coming up with a solution to that here in game number 3, and he has to come up with something because game 3 is do or die for him. Salamis is at game point. So game number 3 coming up shortly, everybody, so be sure to stick around. Hello everybody and welcome to game number 3 of our best of 5 semi-final series, and that brings us to the map tournament arena. And spawned in the upper left hand corner as the red-black hand, we have Salamis. And sliding down into the bottom right position, the man that's down 0-2 in this series and has to make something happen in this game as the cyan Zircon, we got the Rockets. Here we go. It is 2-0 in favor of Salamis, but not getting his patented Reaper 17 this time around. We'll have to see if he can make Black Hand work to his advantage the way that he's been absolutely abusing Reaper 17 in these last couple of games. But it's a sigh of relief here for me. I was really worried that we'd get another Reaper 17 game and it would just be kind of a stomp. I think this is going to open things up a bit. Could potentially get Rockets back on the right footing. Not that I'm necessarily rooting for anybody, but obviously I'd love to see more games, so I'm definitely rooting for Rockets in this situation, simply predicated on trying to get more games. But anyways, Zircon going to be the faction that Rockets has dealt with this time around, so we'll have to see how he chooses to use these guys, actually facing his War Factory away from his Tiberium field. It's going to slow his Harvesters down just a touch, his follow-up Harvesters just a little bit. Whereas Salamis, I actually like this War Factory placement coming out from him, because he kind of gets the best of both worlds. His units can get to the front lines a little bit faster, but they can also get to the Tiberium field quite quick as well. So I think that's the better option overall, but it's peanuts in terms of overall scale. Fast tier 2 coming out from Salamis, so probably going to see a Reckoner Rush of some description here in the early game. But the Pitbull is going to spot this for Rockets, so he's going to have plenty of time to respond to it. He's going to be feeling pretty good about that too, because this Reckoner is going to be taking quite a bit of damage. And a couple of Operation Centers being sold off just to damage that Pitbull, but I think those guys just need to jump in and head downtown to try to get into range. Is he just going to leave this Reckoner close to base? He takes a free shot there next to his base. So Salamis is microing pretty well right here, and this is very interesting. I think I underestimated Salamis, either that or, we'll have to see. But anyways, Rocket's on the move here with his MCV. They're looking to get this up and running. Salamis has not gone for any expansion just yet. It looks like he's looking to drop his second refinery here momentarily. And there it goes. So where is the Reckoner? It's on the top side of the map. It has been spotted though. Pitbulls are going to be able to catch it out here. I think this Reckoner is going to be sent into heavy damage mode here in a second. Yeah, there it goes. So it is deployed now, so that Reckoner is not a threat anymore here for Rockets. I think he's going to be feeling pretty good about that. A couple of Pitbulls out early as well. Gives him an opportunity to harass some Harvesters if he chooses to engage into this. Those Black Hand squads are probably going to run back to base. I don't think they really stand a chance if they just run to the base of Rockets. He's going to try to right now, but I think the watchtowers coming down from Rockets are going to be enough to try to deal with that. Actually, is the Harvester going to be able to crush these guys? Yeah, he's going to certainly disperse them, prevent them from actually doing any damage, allow that watchtower to probably come down here in the near future. Nothing actually queued here. Rockets taking a bit of damage here. Where did those Pitbulls go? Looks like Scorpion tanks have managed to beat back the Pitbulls here. They are going to cut and run. They're going to take a bit of damage from the compressor balls that are joined in this bunker. And both players have their Tiberium spikes and feel pretty comfortable about it. Rockets actually has a nice foxhole in the middle of Salamis' base here. You should be looking to de-garrison that in the near future. Maybe Scorcher Buggy can clear that out. I don't know if they can actually clear structures or not. But a couple of Pitbulls going to try to hold off against these Scorpion tanks coming out from Salamis, and he's got 5 Scorpion tanks right now, so this is actually a bit of damage that can come out here from Salamis right now. And oh man, the mod saying that it was designed to kind of cut down on the tier 1 tank spam, but I don't know that it necessarily is delivering right now. It's certainly seen a lot of tank spam right now. Coming out from Salamis, it's been working real well for him. But Shatterer tank coming out here, or rather Zone Shatterer coming out from Rockets, doing lots of splash damage. Holy moly, that's the counter to that Scorpion tank spam. He can get one more shot off. There we go. It does go down, but he manages to take down 2 or 3 of those Scorpion tanks in the process. And the rest of these Scorpion tanks are pretty low HP, so they're going to have to cut and run if that one even manages to escape. I think if the Pitbull chases it down, it can actually get a final shot. Oh, but it's not going to go down just yet. Reckoner being focused down here by a Rocket Harvester by the looks of it. That Rocket Harvester needs to get back to work, my friend. Yeah, he's going to send that back to work now. It does need to kill that Reckoner off, though, because he obviously just doesn't want to leave free scouts in space. Harvester going to be taking a bit of damage from that foxhole, but it's going to be kind of illuminating the fact that there is a foxhole there, so a little bit unfortunate for Rockets. I think he could have potentially hid the fact that he had a foxhole there if he set that on like a hold fire stance. But it won't matter too much. He's going to lose that, but at the same time, he's pushing forward with some Predator tanks. So, despite the fact that we have, whoa, wait a second. Oh, I thought for a second that he was Steel Talons, but no, he is in fact. Zircon, so no upgrades done just yet. So Sonic Shells not purchased yet, probably won't be for quite some time if they're purchased at all. It's going to depend on how Rockets chooses to play this one out. But a couple of Predator tanks going down there. I don't think they traded too cost efficiently into that fight, so now that scout's finally going to get killed off. Pretty campy game so far. A couple of Zone Shatterers coming out now for Rockets. I would prefer to see him either go Alright, I mean, if he's going to invest this heavily in ground forces, then he should be looking to get into his tech and really start getting some of those upgrades, because those upgrades are going to make a huge difference against these forces. The sonic shells on those Predator tanks are pretty enormous as far as importance goes. But yeah, Scorpion tank's just going to be getting some repairs here, and Confessor Cabal squad's being spammed out. I don't know why Confessor Cabal squads are being spammed out. Oh, okay, no, they're just mixed in with the rocket indoctrines. What do they have for upgrades? They have Night Shard armor. So this is something that kind of threw me off when I played against somebody on this mod, is that there is a Night Shard armor upgrade for Blackhand infantry, and it makes it so that they are completely crush resistant. You cannot crush them with vehicles. Or I think it maybe just makes them crush resistant against like tier 1 tanks. So like, you know, Predator tanks and Scorpion tanks just can't come in and crush. But anyways, a couple of Harvesters getting caught out here by the Scorpion tanks of Salamis. They're going to go down, I think. Oh, missed opportunity. That one Scorpion tank's going to get away. But, or I'm sorry, that one Harvester's going to get away with just a tiny bit of HP. But 2 do go down. I think he loses maybe a Predator or a Scorpion tank or 2. I don't know why I keep wanting to superimpose the names on one another, but anyways, yeah, that fight's pretty much over here. A couple of Harvesters going down for rockets, a couple of Scorpion tanks going down for Salamis. Not a tremendous amount of damage either way, but Confessor Cabal, or rather the Confessor Black Disciple, wow, Black Disciple upgrade is done here for Salamis. So if his infantry going to be a bit stronger, is he going for the Night Shard plating? So it's called Night Shard plating there, but it's called Night Shard armor here. Alright, interesting. I don't think it matters too much, but let's see, it upgrades all Blackhand squads, siege cadres, and rocket indoctrines. So the Confessor Cabal squads can still be crushed because they don't have access to that upgrade, but the rockets will be completely immune to crushing, at least by these tanks. I don't know if like tier 3, tier 4 tanks have a better chance of crushing these units, but tier 3 is done now for rockets. Doesn't look like any upgrades are on the way. Maybe just using this to start purchasing some tier 4 units. And actually, the first epic unit going to be created here today. Reclamator Hub is down, and I don't know if that logo is on. You know, I've never actually checked the logo before. The logo looks nice if it's something that's been added. I like that a lot. But anyways, just a bike floating around here, more than likely looking for an opportunity to harass some Harvesters on the blue Tiberium field, but that's a lot of infantry that's just kind of standing, waiting. And I think they're missing an opportunity here, because if they push forward, at least they have the opportunity to keep the engagement out of their own Tiberium field and potentially kill off Harvesters of rockets. But I understand why he's playing a bit defensive here. He does want to be careful. Those Shatterer tanks will do ridiculous damage to the infantry. Scorpion tanks still just harassing around the map. They managed to kill off a Tiberium spike, but are going to lose maybe a Scorpion tank or 2 here. One did go down. A second one is in heavy damage mode, getting chased down by these Predator tanks. They do need to fall back. Rifleman squad's going to come forward here from rockets just to get some scouting information. Going to see that there's quite a bit of infantry here. Purifier comes out, does a huge just sliding animation there as it's starting to move up towards the top side of the map. It's looking like maybe it's looking for some zone shatterers here. I don't know if he's actually spotted these yet. Nope, he's actually joining the main front here. So just a bit of camping here coming in from Salamis. Just going to be looking to mass up, maybe playing a bit with what these units have. But it looks like the Confessor Cabal squads have been upgraded with the supercharged particle beam, or rather charged particle beam. Terribly shocking to see that upgrade. So almost full infantry. No, there are full infantry upgrades, I believe, on these guys. Yeah, I can't tell if he's actually got the Night Shard armor, but I'm pretty sure that he does. Marv does come out here for rockets, and he's going to join 3, I think it was 3 zone troopers. Yep, 3 zone troopers and an engineer going to be jumping in there. Yeah, and I would imagine Rockets is going to be looking to press forward here in the near future. He's got that Marv, obviously. He's got a fairly decent size tier 1, tier 2 tank army as well. Those Shatterer tanks will be pretty good at dealing with this infantry force. However, his Marv is going to have to tank the front line. He does not want to send these Shatterers in. Oh, these Shatterers should not be on the front lines. This is a huge mistake. This could cost Rockets this engagement. If these Shatterer tanks come in on their own against these Purifiers and tank this front line, this Marv is not doing its job. Now now the Scorpion tanks are coming in for the flank on the Predator tanks. This is real bad here for Rockets, in my opinion. It's looking like Rockets, well, he does manage to pick off a Purifier, so these Zone Shatter is doing a nice job. And now the Marv is going to come in for the cleanup on some of this infantry. Obelisk comes down to try to defend this field, but oh jeez, I don't know if it's going to be enough. These Shatterer tanks have managed to do quite a bit of damage despite being more or less the frontline tank in this situation. That much I don't agree with, but they're managing to pick off a lot of this infantry, and considering there's really no better way to deal with them at this stage for Zocom, I like this move here from Rockets. He's looking pretty solid here in this game. The Purifier is getting picked off, but there is still one left. I think these Zone Shatterers need to just turn and focus that thing down. MCB is on the move here for Salamis. Not sure where he's headed. Looks like he wants to get some base defenses down on him further position forward. But that's also going to mean that his construction yard is now going to be under fire here. And I think Rockets is going to take this opportunity to capitalize on this. GG comes in from Salamis, and that's going to be it. So Rockets keeps himself alive here in game number 3 by picking up a win here on Tournament Arena. So pretty solid game here coming in from Rockets. Wasn't looking too good for him early, but the decision to go for those Shatterer tanks saved him, because otherwise it would have just been another tier 1 tank push from Salamis that just manages to trade too efficiently into Rockets' forces. But Rockets turns the tides and manages to get up to tier 4, gets his Marv out, and just pushes forward, and there's just no answer coming in from Salamis. I don't know if he just invested a little bit too much in that infantry when there was too many different ways for Zocom to deal with it. But anyways, that's going to be it for that game. We got the Rockets is now still alive in this tournament. It is 2-1 in favor of Salamis right now, and we'll have to see what game 4 has for us, and that's going to be coming up momentarily, everybody, so be sure to stick around. Hello everybody and welcome to game number 4 of our best of 5 semifinal series, and that takes us to the map Tournament Dust Bowl. Spawning on the top side of the map as the red Marked of Kane, that's right, Marked of Kane coming out this time around, we have Salamis. And then down on the bottom side of the map as the Cyan Rapid Response Force, aka RRF, we got the Rockets. It is 2-1 in favor of Salamis right now, and Marked of Kane, this is the faction I've been looking forward to because these guys have some of the coolest units I've ever seen. And again, I think a lot of it is kind of drawn from CNC4 assets. We'll have to have that confirmed by the mod creator, but I'm pretty sure that's where those come from. But they look absolutely astonishingly good, and we'll have to see. We'll have to see if they end up getting used or if these guys just choose to go for more conventional tactics like we've seen in the last couple of games here. Rockets, he did mention, just because these guys are ecoing right now, not really going for anything too crazy, I'm just going to give you a little bit of a spiel. Rockets was mentioning that he was like, well, there's a bit of imbalance in this mod. You know, Zircon doesn't have access to AP ammo. And it's like, the concerns that I have is, when I was playing this mod initially, I thought, wow, that's super imbalanced when I got hit with something that I wasn't expecting. But then you come to the realization of, well, hey, it's because I didn't expect it that it was so strong. If I knew what it was that was coming, and I knew the proper counter with the particular faction that I was playing as, I would have known, how to deal with it a lot better. So I think the imbalance can be kind of thrown to the wind until a meta really evolves at this stage. So I would be hesitant to say that anything's imbalanced. Those manhunters look really strong, but then again, I'm sure that there is a way of dealing with that. Oh, MCB getting caught up here by the Pitbull here coming out from Rockets. So Salamis not going to be too happy about the Pitbull. Pitbull's actually kind of stuck inside of the MCB. I don't know if it's actually stuck. It should still be able to move. But I would imagine Rockets is feeling pretty good about where it's at. So he's probably got that on a hold fire stance, just leaving it where it is. And wants to just let that be as disruptive as possible. And now, yeah, I think he actually put it on a hold fire stance, but Mantis going to be coming in, should be able to clean that up pretty quickly. These Mantis going to be pretty strong, or Manti, I think it is the plural of that word. But anyways, Rockets has gone for the expansion. Yeah, just straight eco for him. He's already got 6 harvesters. Needs to be careful, though. There's a double war factory down here for Salamis, so this could potentially start doing some serious work here. He's only got 4 harvesters, but he's got double war factory now. So more harvesters being pumped out. And this is really aggressive war factory placement. Again, I think this could end up coming back to bite him in the ass because those war factories are very far away from his expansion. So if Rockets chooses to take an engagement over here, those reinforcements are going to have a super long distance to go before they can get involved in the fight. Whereas he could get repairs on the front lines for his harvesters, for his units, and be able to get those guys in the action a little bit faster. So again, weird decisions here as far as the war factory placements, in my opinion. I'm not a pro, but that's my opinion. I think it worked very much against Dragon 99 in the games that we saw. But anyways, it is going to be anti-spam coming around here from Salamis. Let's see how strong these guys actually are. I think they're actually quite fragile units. They do a lot of damage, but they're very, very lightly armored. So I think the Predator tank should be able to clean them up in like 2 or 3 shots. Similar to the way that a bike would go. Or maybe they're even weaker, I'm not sure. Looks like they take maybe 4 or 5 shots, actually. That's some serious damage. Anyways, these buggies, I think they're laser buggies? Drone buggies. Drone buggies going to be rolling around with the Manti here, and the Manti are actually quite fast. They do a lot of damage. They should be able to pick off another harvester here. Is he going to get himself a harvester? No, he's going to choose to engage the Predator tanks instead. That's not the worst idea in the world. I mean, they're doing pretty well against these Predator tanks. He manages to clean up that low HP harvester. I like the micro there to actually kill it off. But now the Predator tanks are going to come through victorious. They're going to clean up all these guys. Huge fire explosions. Fire explosions, that's a bit redundant. Huge explosions coming out from those Manti going down. But let's see what Salamis is up to in the meantime. He's gone for the expansion. He's got a refinery up and running, but he is a bit behind here in terms of tech. Tier 2 done now for Rockets. The question is when will we see Tier 3? I don't see any armories down, so maybe the requirements here for Tier 3 have changed. Then again, I mean, he's probably building a refinery, so I'm not going to jump on the gun and say that right now. But that was like one of my major concerns when I was playing this mod earlier on, is that it required you to have both Tier 2 and an armory in order to build Tier 3, which was it's pretty significant. Wow, that's a lot of Manti. All right. Pitbull's coming out. Probably just going for some scouting information, but actually, no, that's a lot of Pitbulls coming through the middle of the map. Predator tank's going to be coming up as well. Manti are going to skirt off to the right-hand side, and it's going to be the Reapers coming out now. We're going to get to see them for the first time in this fight. hear them. They look and sound much more devastating than they actually are. They're kind of equivalent to rocket infantry, so they do quite good work here, but they can't be crushed, which is also quite good against these Predator tanks. And they can be upgraded with cybernetic legs as well, so they can be quite a bit faster if they choose to go that route. So they should be able to hold the line against these forces, and actually the Manti come back around. They're going to be joining this fight, going to be trying to kill off these Predator tanks. That's the unfortunate thing about these Reapers, is they're quite slow, and I think once those cybernetic legs get upgraded, they're actually going to be able to contend with these Predator tanks in a much better fashion. Right now, the Manti being traded out for Predator tanks. I think that's still going to be worthwhile here for Salamis. He's going to feel okay about this. A couple of Harvesters being forced off the line here, so Rockets, the question is he getting... Yes, he's getting plenty of economy in the meantime. I just wanted to make sure that his economy wasn't ravaged and something I missed or something. But a number of Pitbulls going down there, lots and lots of those Reapers out on the field now, so I think cybernetic legs would be a worthwhile upgrade just based on how much is invested. No, both of the Hands of Nod get sold off. I think that's a missed opportunity, but he must need the money. He's probably struggling for it. Ref gets sold off. Those two Harvesters need to get to a War Factory. Again, War Factory should have been over here. I can't harp on that enough. It's killing me right now. He's actually been forced to sell up one of his War Factories as well. Oh man, and these Harvesters going all the way back to the War Factory. He's lost a lot of harvesting time here, and that could actually really devastate his economy in this situation, because Rockets is spiraling out of control here in terms of economy. I think he's already up to tier 4. No, he's up to tier 3. Does he have tier 4? What is this? Okay, so he's got an armory. So maybe the armory requirement is still around, but the armory is down. He's got zone troopers coming out. Probably going to be for a Marv, I would imagine, unless he's got other plans. But he is playing as RRF, so see what he chooses to go for here. We could potentially see Sonic Propulsion upgrade, but it's 3,000 bucks. But it increases the speed of your Mammoth tanks, which could be pretty good, especially if they get railguns later on. But that's $7,000 worth of upgrades for your units. When I mean $7,000 could be invested into units that actually do damage. So the cost of the upgrades may be prohibitive in this situation, especially at high-level play, because that could mean, you know, what, 7 more Predator tanks or something like that? I don't know what the exact dollar value is. I should know that, but you know, probably a half dozen Predator tanks that could come out for the cost of you know, those 2 upgrades. But then again, if those Mammoth tanks come up in large enough numbers and the eco gets kind of spiraled out of control here for Rockets, we could potentially see it. If nothing else, it'll be railguns, because the railguns I think will be more cost efficient in that manner. 20% movement speed increase is a bit too little, I think, for a $3,000 upgrade. But we'll have to see. I say that, and I have no context with which I'm speaking about it, aside from just, this is what I think, based on reasons. But Mammoth tanks and Predator tanks going to be moving forward here, and actually the Predator tanks benefit from that upgrade as well. Interesting. Mantis going to be rolling, or Manti rolling through the base here. Ooh, don't want to engage into those Mammoth tanks, though. They will absolutely die off, and 2 of those Manti go down. Try to kill off these power plants, and they could stick around and kill off that refinery. I don't think those Mammoth tanks can actually keep up. Whoa! This force is right on his front door, and he's still pumping out Manti. Only this 1 War Factory here to try to hold the line as well. No additional War Factory back in this area yet, and we've got just a Hand of Nod down here. I would imagine this War Factory is going to be vaporized here any second. He's focusing down power plants. It's an interesting choice. I guess maybe letting this War Factory kick around just in case he wants to produce units off of it, so he can just kill those units off as well. Manti sitting over here on the left-hand side of the map should be looking to engage in. Never mind, those are Mammoth tanks. You don't want to engage into that. Mammoth tanks looking real strong here for Rockets. I don't know if they got a cost reduction or what have you, but he's pumping them out in mass. So should be looking to see some upgrades here in the near future. Probably going to be seeing railguns, if anything. Reaper's going to be chasing these guys down, and they should be able to deal with both the Mammoth tanks and the Predator tanks pretty easily, and I think they should be able to chase this Mammoth tank down. The Mammoth tank just won't have the DPS to actually focus these guys down. Yeah, that's quite an interesting looking unit. That's definitely a cool sound and particle effect to it. I like that a lot. But anyways, Manti going to be rolling around on the left-hand side. It looks like they're actually retreating. Don't want to necessarily engage in. Again, still pretty heavily defended here down on the bottom side with 4 of those mammoth tanks. There's also a war factory for repairs over there on the right-hand side. Forces kind of consolidating here on the left-hand side of the map for Salamis. It looks like he wants to move out for the expansion. Smart move. He needed to do this a little bit earlier, though, in my opinion. But he is a bit behind the 8 ball here. We do have a Marv out on the field here for Rockets. So that's what those 4 zone troopers were used for, or 3 zone troopers, rather. Unfortunately, gets his engineer in one of the front spots. Ideally, you'd want to have your zone troopers up in the front and then your engineer pad in the back, just because usually when you're engaging with the front of your tank. So that's where you want all of your damage to be, but won't matter too much. It's just small stuff where, you know, that extra railgun shot could make the difference of killing a unit versus it staying alive. Again, minor stuff. APC is going to be rolling through the map here as well. No AP ammo upgraded for them. So really no upgrades being purchased here by Rockets by the looks of it, which I think is a bit of a mistake, because I think that's one of the biggest changes to this mod, is there's just so many upgrades now. But I wonder, again, how much the... Mammoth Tank's getting locked down there by the, more than likely, a couple of Awakened squads that are mixed in. And Cybernetic Legs upgraded as well, so that Mammoth Tank should get focused down. It does get focused down. The Manti coming in here as well. And, yeah, Awakened squads and the... and Reapers going to be looking pretty scary. Enlightened squad as well, so lots of heavy infantry here coming out from Salamis, and I think almost none of those can actually be crushed, so we'll have to see what the response is going to be coming out from Rockets. It's looking like it's going to be aircraft, and I think these are just standard hammerheads. There will be hammerheads with AP ammo, so he does get the AP ammo upgrade now, realizing that he's up against such heavy infantry. He wants to get those up and running. Does have a couple of APCs on the front lines as well. Mammoth Tank going to be coming forward. Is going to get hit by some infantry here. Does need to be careful. He doesn't have anything in the way of anti-air, and that's going to be devastating for him right now. I don't know if these Mantis actually have anti-air capability. I think they serve the same purpose as the regular Mantis, but Mammoth Tank gets locked down. I think he's a bit hesitant to engage into these Manti. No, they do have anti-air capability, so he does need to be real careful around those. But the Marv is coming in, getting a good position here between his force and the Manti. They're going to get cut off there. They're going to get completely killed off. Reaper's getting killed off here, and that's going to be GG for Salamis. So it looks like we have a game on our hands, folks. It is now going to be 2-2. Rockets evens up the score here on Tournament Dust Bowl, and manages to take down Salamis, keep himself alive, and send us into a game number 5. So 11 minutes and 46 seconds on the clock. I like the choice there from Salamis to go for the infantry upgrades and try to get that stuff out. I think he just did miss an opportunity to actually engage and do any damage, because those Mammoth Tanks just came out a little bit too quick, I think, for Rockets, and there was just no harassment opportunity coming in from Salamis, which he was really looking to do with all the investment in those Manti. But anyways, that's going to be it for game number 4. That takes us to an ace match, which is coming up momentarily, everybody, so be sure to stick around. Hello everybody and welcome to game number 5 in our deciding game in this semifinal series, and that brings us to the map Small Town, USA. And spawning down in the bottom left position as the Cyan Reaper 17, we got the Rockets. And then moving up into the upper right position as the Green Reaper 17, we have Salamis. So for those of you that did miss the earlier games, spoiler alert, Salamis has been super strong with the Reaper 17 in these last few games. Looking very, very confident on this faction. The Manhunter spam being real coming out from him, and he's just been very dominant with it. I mean, I realize I'm being redundant here by saying that all together, but it's just interesting to see this happening. So Reaper 17, I think, being chosen by both players? Yeah, I think this was a matter of these guys choosing their factions, or maybe it was random. I'm not quite sure. I'd have to go back and watch the video. I wasn't paying close enough attention because I was dealing with some stuff in the live chat. But anyways, I very much expect to see some serious Manhunter spam coming out in this game. We've just seen it work so well. I'm hoping to maybe see some more unique stuff going on, like maybe some upgrades being purchased on some of these guys early on, and really make these Manhunters just that much stronger. But anyways, we'll have to see. Rockets, I think he's going to be a bit more comfortable coming into this game. He's seen the Reaper 17 come out twice now in this series. And it's the 2 victories that Salamis has had against him was on that faction. So we'll have to see if Rockets can maybe turn this one around and kind of break this undefeated streak that Salamis is on with Reaper 17. And what we've been seeing from him is double Warp Sphere Manhunter spam. I don't know if it's necessarily going to be the case on this map. We see an immediate double Warp Sphere coming down from Rockets, maybe expecting that to come out from Salamis, but no real scouting information from either side. This is very odd, to say the least. Normally you would expect to see some scouting going on early. I don't know if I'm just not seeing it because of the colors on the minimap, but yeah, there's very little scouting going on from what I can tell. The MCV's on the move here for Rockets, so he's going to be looking to get that expansion up and running. Shardwalker comes out, does miss an opportunity to kill off that Shardling. I think a Manhunter is going to chase that down, but again, I won't be shocked to see kind of a Shardwalker Manhunter spam in this particular game. Double Warp Sphere is down for Salamis, so it's looking like that's kind of what the meta of this series has turned into, is just tier 1 tank spam, and again, that's kind of what these guys are comfortable with. You know, that's what 1.02 and 1.02 Plus kind of is. It's that early game tank spam for most factions. And in this situation, the Manhunters have been shown to be quite strong, at least for early tanks, and there just hasn't been a good answer to them. So this time around, it's gonna be a mirror matchup, and we'll have to see how Rockets does. And he's got the superior number of Manhunters here in the middle of the map. No garrisons taken by either side, and I don't think they'd have units that could actually fire out of them anyways, but early trading going over in favor of Rockets right now for certain. And my music just stopped here, so we'll restart that playlist. Alright, sorry. I had to get my music started again. But anyways, we do have the Manhunters coming in here from Rockets, and now the question is, will he drop a repair drone field on this push? Because that's the problem that he's going to run into here. There's double Warp Sphere production and repairs coming in from Salamis, so the trading is going to have to be kind of pulled away from those Warp Spheres. He really wants to draw these forces kind of over here. Ideally, I think he'd be sending these Manhunters in over here, harassing these Harvesters, force these Manhunters to come over. But he's just choosing to engage into the front line, and I don't agree with this at all. I mean, he's got the superior numbers right now, but it's going to very drastically change here in the near future once some of these Manhunters get picked off and they're not being reinforced on the front lines. But maybe Rockets is okay with that. Maybe he's just looking to get those early trades, keep Salamis on the back foot early, keep him in his own base, and allow him to kind of do his own thing. So he's already got an expansion up and running, whereas Salamis doesn't, from what I can tell. No, Manhunter's actually heading down to the expansion here of Rockets, so I think Rockets caked this one, to be honest. I think this was a big mistake. Not dropping the repair drones and also just engaging into the double Warp Sphere. But Rockets is actually sending some units back to defend this. He was really reactive with the Harvester as well, so he actually keeps that alive. But Salamis has turned the turrets here, so he's got the focus now on Rockets. And Rockets, he's managed to hold the line. He dropped a portal really quickly, get some disintegrators out. They should be able to hold off against this. So it's looking like Reaper 17 is the answer to Reaper 17 here for Rockets. Expansion is up and running here for Salamis, so he's on pretty much equal economic footing. I would say Rockets is a touch faster on his ref and a little bit quicker on getting an additional harvester out here. Again, I don't think we see any upgrades on any of these manhunters for either side. Let's just take a quick look. I don't think any of these have been upgraded. No upgrades being purchased. I mean, it is $300 for the upgrades, so that could potentially, mean that extra $300 could go into some additional units. And in a game where, sometimes you can lose units to just some random bugs, like a reverse move bug, I could see how that extra investment could potentially be a little bit scary to go for, but I'd like to see it, if nothing else, just for the sense of experimentation. But now the completely undefended base here of Rockets is going to be getting shut down pretty hard here by Salamis. Responding now with some manhunters, but does lose a couple of harvesters. He's forced to build some of those cultist-looking equivalents here for Reaper 17, which serve more or less as fanatics, as they would for the Nod factions. Manhunters have been beat back here by We Got the Rockets. Salamis not in the largest number of units at this stage. It looks like he may be looking to go into tech in the near future. It looks like he's got something on the way. This could be another refinery, or it could be some tech. I'd really prefer for it to be some tech. What was it that he just built? It is some tech. Okay, so he's got tier 2. I'd like to see a tech up to tier 3. Get these guys into some tripods and really look to start putting some pain. But it's looking like Rockets is content with just continuing to spam manhunters at this stage. Should be looking to go for some upgrades if he's going to do that. Attenuated force fields, if nothing else, and then shard packs would not be a bad idea either. Just make these guys even stronger. And I think he's also got the support power that allows him to drop a mobile. It essentially affects like an EMP blast, and then it gives a shield to all these units. Again, I think even if they lose their shield from the attenuated force fields. But anyways, Shardwalker's going to be standing here on the front lines for Rockets. I think he just needs to engage into this. He's lost a couple of Shardwalkers. He needs to start trading in and start making this attack worthwhile. I think maybe just focus down the portal really quickly, eliminate that, eliminate any infantry coming out of there, the disintegrators coming out. He does have a couple of Shardwalkers, so he can potentially hold off against the infantry for a little while. Does need to start focusing down these manhunters, or just eliminate that lightning spike. Lightning spike actually doing pretty significant damage here. Left unattended, but just the manhunters being focused down first. And again, it's getting pretty messy here in this fight, but Rockets is still looking to be in pretty prime shape. He's definitely got the numbers advantage, and that's definitely what is going to make the difference here in this fight. So the choice to go tech here for Salamis is being punished a little bit here by Rockets, and that's what he needs to do. But more than likely is already working on tech of his own. Got tier 2 plopped down now. So he's a little bit behind in terms of tech. I would not be shocked to see tier 3 coming down here from Salamis in the near future if it's not already down. No, he does not already have this down. He's got 3 warps. See, this is a mistake. He doesn't need the 3 warp spheres. He needs to sell up 1 or 2 of those warp spheres back in space, get his production over here where he needs it, and be able to defend his base. Because again, he's not really defending much over here. I mean, it's just refineries. There's no reason for these 2 warp spheres to be all the way over there. Granted, there is a cost associated with rebuilding those right now, but anyways, we'll be seeing some manhunters getting focused down here. But again, I think Rockets has just managed to get the overwhelming numbers here, and it's just working out to his advantage. Still no upgrades being purchased by either side, and no mutations either. The eco is starting to spiral out of control here for Rockets down the bottom side. No eco harassment has really come out from Rockets. I mean, he's killed off a harvester or 2, but not much in comparison to what he could be doing. Now he's deciding to turn the turrets on the harvesting. I think that's a smart decision here. He is already very far ahead, and I think this is honestly going to be GG here for Salamis. So it's looking like the answer to his Reaper 17 is in fact Reaper 17, and that is going to be it. Salamis has been defeated. So despite being down 0-2, Rockets completes the reverse sweep. Comes through as the victory. Pretty solid game there coming in from Rockets. Questionable decisions by, I would say, both sides, more so on Salamis' end. Again, bunching up those warp spheres, I understand the idea behind it in terms of being able to fight a battle right in the range of those 2 warp spheres. But aside from that one scenario, that really doesn't benefit you at all. I think the warp spheres would have been much better off maybe spread out a bit, and then obviously once he expanded, maybe sell those up or sell one of them up and get another one established over at his expansion, be able to get those reinforcements on the front line and get some repairs for his units and his harvesters and whatnot. I think it would have saved him a lot of money and then would have eliminated the money troubles that he was dealing with later on. So some mistakes were made, honestly, but I wouldn't worry too much about it. That's going to be it for this game. Pretty solid game number 5, and I mean, to end it with Rockets showing how he's going to defeat Salamis' strongest tactic, he comes through with a victory. So solid game from him. He's going to end up in the finals, and we'll have to take a look at the bracket and see who is on the other side. And we'll actually check in on that in a moment, everybody, so be sure to stick around. All right, so let's take a look at the bracket and how things have shaked out today. So going right from the start, in case you guys missed it, we didn't see the series, but Steel Reaper went down 0-2 to Salamis, and then we caught the series after that, which was Salamis taking down Dragon 99 2-0. And then down below that, we got the Rockets taking a 2-0 over the Wank Bank, and then Dimitri CNC taking on Geshko, taking a 2-0 there, and OneVISION taking down Imaginary Number, who is actually the creator of the mod, 2-0 in that situation. And then after that, we have Salamis being defeated by We Got the Rockets in a very close series, coming down to the very last game in a mirror matchup on Salamis' strongest faction, at least the strongest faction that I've seen from him, coming down to 3-2 in favor of We Got the Rockets, and then OneVISION on the other side, living up to the name of the tournament and coming through with a victory 3-1 over Dimitri CNC. So now our finals is going to end up being We Got the Rockets versus OneVISION here on the OneVISION tournament. Who would have guessed OneVISION would be a finalist here in this event? But very interesting. And then our bronze match or third place match will end up being between Salamis and Dimitri CNC, assuming that Dimitri is still around. But anyways, that's going to be it for our bracket rundown. We're going to be headed into the finals next. That's coming up right now, everybody, so be sure to stick around. Hello everybody and welcome to game number 1 of our best of 7 final series, and that brings us to the map Small Town, USA. And sliding down to the bottom left position as the cyan black hand, we got the Rockets. And then his opponent up in the upper right hand corner who had to fight his way through the other side of the bracket as the purple Messenger 8, we have OneVISION. So it is 0-0 game number 1 here on Small Town USA, so I'm wondering if maybe that was kind of the reason that Rockets chose to go Small Town USA on the last game. Maybe to, actually no, it would have been Salamis' map choice, I think, last game. Never mind, I don't know what I'm talking about. I was thinking that maybe these guys were trying to test strategies on like this specific map, but I don't think it's going to matter too much. I think the faction knowledge is going to be more important. Basketball going to be winning out against that buzzer swarm there, but Leech is going to be roaming around the map there for OneVISION. And we already have a Rocket squad out here from, we got the Rockets. That's a bit of a risky investment here early on, particularly since, I mean, he didn't know what faction he was up against. At least I don't think he did. Leech is going to be getting killed off there by the Confessor Cabal squad. War Factory comes down there from Rockets. Not terribly shocking. Warp Sphere finally, or rather, Portal gets sold off there for OneVISION, and yeah, he's going to be playing as Messenger 8, so he does have the shielded harvesters. So I think that's one of the big changes, is that Reaper 17 used to be the ones with the shielded harvesters, but now it's Messenger 8 that actually have, whoa, that was sent way back. So okay, so he must have been struggling for cash there. Did he go for some kind of a rush? Am I missing something here? Seems really far behind. I don't understand why he's so far behind. Alright, well, we won't worry about it too much. Second refinery comes down, but a Reckoner with dual black hand is on the way here for Rockets. Sorry, it's just I was struggling to try to figure out what the reason was for this extractor being so delayed. At least it felt delayed to me. Maybe I'm just imagining things. But anyways, Reckoner's on the move here. I don't think it has been spotted in any facet, so he should be able to come in and get himself probably a Warp Sphere and a Extractor if he deploys right in this area here. I think that's probably the best spot. Wow, that Reckoner taking a ridiculous amount of damage. Wow, gets deployed super far away, too. A bit unfortunate there. These Seeker Tanks doing some serious work against that Reckoner. I don't know if Reckoners got nerfed in this patch, but very, very weak. And Black Hand squads, are they going to be able to kill off a Warp Sphere? If they're not able to kill off a Warp Sphere, that's going to be pretty devastating. I don't think they're going to be able to. I think the Buzzer Hive is going to be enough to kill that off. Wow, they don't even get a Warp Sphere, so that's it's going to be a bit of a struggle here for Rockets. Again, this is a matter of, you may think that, oh, it's imbalanced, you know, that didn't work, so, you know, IMBA, but the fact is that you're trying to use 1.02 and 1.02 plus meta in a different mod, you know, where there's different units and different abilities, and, you know, units have been nerfed or buffed accordingly. So I'd be hesitant to cry IMBA at this stage, but it's not looking too good for Rockets here early on. That early rush did not pay dividends for him, so yeah, I think he was actually forced to sell his MCV. Yeah, his MCV is sold. He does have a Saboteur here that's moving down on the right-hand side of the map. Could potentially look for a capture of this drone ship if he gets into position. Needs to be real careful, though. That drone ship, if it spots the engineer, it won't deploy. So, I mean, you could delay the deployment a little bit. Oh, no, it deploys. Oh, God, is he going to see this? He's going to need to get out of Buzzer Hive. Okay, Buzzer Hive's on the way, so he should be able to hold off against that. I just wanted to make sure that that wasn't going to get captured. It looks like a Buzzer Hive is on the way. Oh, God, he deploys in the wrong place. Oh, my God, Rockets! Rockets, capture it! Oh, no! Rockets completely forgot about that. He's more than likely dealing with this force here. That was an opportunity where he could have easily captured that drone ship, because that Buzzer Hive was way farther away than it needed to be. I thought he was going to drop it on the engineer, but he dropped it on the Confessor Cabal squad. That was almost a massive mistake there, but won't matter too much. It's over. But double War Factory here from Rocket's going to try to put the pressure on OneVISION. Needs to do some economy harassment here, or else he's pretty much dead. He is double War Factory right now. He's pretty stalled for cash. He's trying desperately to stay alive. He's unfortunately wasting shots on buzzers. Soldier Buggy's not doing tremendous amounts of damage, but they are doing a pretty good job of tanking for the front line. OneVISION doing a nice job of picking off bikes as he gets into range, but Harvester pulled off the line there. So only one refinery, double war factory here coming in from Rockets, so this is like classic all-in here from Rockets. I mean, he had to go all-in after his flame rush failed, because otherwise OneVISION would have just killed him. So Rockets, he's definitely fighting from a deficit in this game. Not dead though. OneVISION though, if he's left alone and allowed to just harvest uncontested, then it will definitely be GG here pretty soon. Because Rockets is not going to be able to keep up, especially if OneVISION decides to tech at any point in the near future, which I would imagine he's probably going to be looking to do. If not now, then after he drops another refinery. Looks like he's got a structure ready to drop. Not sure what it is. But yeah, this bike buggy not doing really the work that he was probably hoping for, but the Scorcher buggy's now going to come in. Honestly, the Scorcher buggies could probably just be sent and try to do some damage to the buildings, but it looks like there is a counterattack here of Seeker tanks down into the main base of Rockets, and it's going to expose the fact that there's still only 2 war factories here. I think Rockets, whoa, he sells up one of his war factories, so he is really struggling for cash here. Maybe going to be looking to transition out of this into an MCV in the near future, but he's sending all of his Scorcher buggies forward, but his bikes are out of position. He's be getting those bikes in there as well. I know it is risky, because if those bikes go down, then he loses the majority of his DPS, but it's, again, it's kind of go for broke here for Rockets. He needs to do something. Still no tier 2 here for OneVISION. He's actually opted to go for a second warp sphere as opposed to tier 2, so be looking to just hold off against the spam here of Rockets and maybe go for some spam of his own. Seeker tanks pretty good, but I don't know that they're going to be as tanky as those manhunters, so I think we're starting to see the difference here. I think if those were manhunters, this game would be over, but they're not. Don't worry about it too much. Warp sphere is pretty heavily damaged, but doesn't really matter all that much. There's not really a looming threat that it's going to be destroyed. Rockets does get his MCV out. If he can get a refinery down, I think he'll be alright. I mean, he's definitely behind. There's no question about that, but I think he can potentially survive. Then he's going to have to look for some really, really cost-effective engagements here. And the question is, will OneVISION allow that to happen? He's got a stasis chamber down. Could potentially see... Oh, okay, never mind. I was going to say we could see a stasis chamber come down. Stasis shield. That's the word I'm looking for. Chamber and shield, for some reason, in my mind, kind of blend together. But anyways, Scorcher buggies, along with a couple of bikes, going to be tossed in the mix to try to hold off against this attack, but I don't think they're going to be enough. Shredder turrets being drafted and a Hand of Nod being dropped as well, so slowing this build down just a little bit. Rocket still has not built another refinery. He's got another harvester, which tells me that he's looking to build another refinery. May have sold that off or canceled it. And it looks like it's going to be a bit of a pincer attack here from OneVISION. He's got forces massed up on the top side of the map, and he's also got his force coming in from the right-hand side. I think he's just going to look to starve Rockets out of this game and just win straight up. Isn't really committing to any attacks right now, though, which I think is a bit of a mistake. I mean, granted, the longer this game goes on, the better it is for OneVISION, because oh, Stasis Shield does come in, so Stasis Shield is a support power. I didn't think it was. Oh, I was looking at upgrades, that's why. Stasis Shield is still a thing here for Messenger 8. They do manage to lock down only a couple of Scorcher buggies. I think that's a bit of a waste. He could have potentially come in and locked down, you know, the War Factory and the MCV, and I think that would have been GG. Sure, a couple of these units would have still been up and running, but these Scorcher buggies do pretty negligible damage, so I think it was a mistake there from OneVISION, and I think Rockets will actually be okay with that. That Stasis Shield could have been far more devastating. But Harvester's now going to be getting focused down, and again, I think this is just a slow push to victory here for OneVISION. There's just too many units here, and Rockets has no eco to speak of, and even if he did, he just doesn't have the units to try to hold up against this. So I think that's pretty much it. OneVISION should be tapping out here in the near future. GG comes in, and that's going to be it. OneVISION going to be looking to be up 1-0 in this best of 7 series. So again, this game kind of interesting in that OneVISION, he went a more macro-oriented game, and I think Rockets was thinking that he could go for, you know, a patented Blackhand Flame Rush, went for a double Blackhand Reckoner, didn't do nearly as much damage as he wanted it to, both by being caught out by OneVISION and also just having the nerfs that came into Blackhand. So I think maybe these guys need to change up their early game strategies, particularly Rockets. I mean, again, in a normal situation, I think in like 1.02 or 1.02 plus, he would have been fine with that Reckoner opening. Actually, I think it would have been pretty devastating. But again, I think both the Reckoner and the Black Hand squads got nerfed. I know the Black Hand squads did. I don't know about the Reckoner, but I can imagine it was, since it took quite a bit of damage from those Seeker tanks, which normally it wouldn't. But anyways, not going to harp too much longer on this game. Obviously, the early game really dictated how this one went, but OneVISION comes out on top in just under 8 minutes, and it's going to be up 1-0 in this best-of-7 series, but it's still anybody's game here, coming up in game number 2, and that's coming up right now, everybody, so be sure to stick around. Hello everybody and welcome to game number 2 of our best of 7 final series, and that brings us to the map Pipeline Problems. And spawning on the top side of the map as the purple Messenger 8, we have OneVISION. And then sliding down to the bottom side of the map as the Cyan Traveler 59, we got the Rockets. Let me just see if I can fix this scoreboard a little bit here. We'll do this, and yeah, I think that's right. There we go. So OneVISION is up 1-0 here, standing true to his name, and in the mod name, obviously. His mod name is OneVISION, in case you guys didn't know. I know I'm talking nonsense to you guys, but pretty standard Pipeline Problems gameplay coming out from these guys. Double refinery opener with a crane, and then you sell off one of the extractors. Well, maybe not going to sell off one of the extractors here for OneVISION, but he's going for a very similar build. Maybe going to look to keep around that second extractor. I don't think you need 2 extractors on this field. So I think Rocket's choice here was actually a little bit better. But mirror builds coming out from these guys, and it is going to be Messenger 8 versus Traveler 59. So essentially vanilla Scrin versus Traveler 59, if you were trying to look for the equivalents in the normal game. But Messenger 8 obviously does have a number of changes. The biggest, well, I wouldn't say the biggest of which, but notably shielded harvesters on them. Going to be pretty strong. Haven't really seen too much come out of their Seeker tanks. Haven't really seen too much come out of them at all, to be honest. Seems like it's been pretty standard play from them so far. But Traveler 59, we have not actually seen that yet today, so it's interesting to see it. Leech is coming out here for one bit. Wait. Okay. So apparently leeches are a thing for Traveler 59 as well. Was the last game Traveler 59? Am I memory is just not serving me properly. No, it was Messenger 8, because OneVISION had those shielded harvesters. Alright, so it looks like leeches are just a thing now for Scrin. That is okay, they're quite an interesting unit. Definitely don't do very much damage, but you wouldn't expect them to anyways. Looks like they're trying to poke away at the harvester's shields, but I think the shields actually... No, they do go down. I was going to say, I thought they were actually regenerating their shields, but they aren't. Anyways, not talking about too much because there's not a whole lot going on in this game just yet. Secret Tank coming in for some scouting information for... Pretty content to see that it's pretty standard eco play here coming in from Rockets with a normal build on that field. He does... Wait, did he build another refinery? Okay, so he built a second refinery here. That's interesting. And OneVISION actually sold his off. Okay. Weird. Because OneVISION kept his 2 refineries around for a long time, then he finally sold one off. But Rockets sold one off and then rebuilt another one. Right. Alright, so a little bit of a divergence of build paths here, and this map's a little bit more known for that. You know, you don't just build a standard build every single game. You gotta kind of mix things up depending on how you want to play it out, but both of these guys playing it more of an eco style and kind of what you would expect, especially with Scrin factions. You're kind of hoping for them to get into the late game, except for apparently Reaper 17, who's super strong with the Manhunters early. Shielded Harvester is just going to be happily mining away there for OneVISION on the top side of the map, and likewise here for Rockets down on the bottom side. Going to get pressured a little bit here by a couple of Secret Tanks, but one Disintegrator Squad. Oh, wow, actually a Buzzer Swarm support power being called in to kill off the Assimilator as well as the Disintegrators here, which we're actually looking to hold the line here for Rockets. So Buzzer's now on the front lines here for we got the Rockets. He should be able to potentially hold off against any, or rather for OneVISION, going to look to hold off against the follow-up infantry coming in from Rockets. It doesn't look like Rockets has actually built any just yet. This is actually looking like a pretty painful attack coming in from OneVISION. Lightning Spike called in as well. Lots and lots of Harvesters going down. Ooh, this is not looking good. But again, blue Tiberium has been harvested, so there's a lot of Tiberium in the banks here for Rockets. So should be okay to hold the line. He's going to take pretty significant losses, though, and that's not what you want to see at this stage. I-Core Seed being called in here by Rockets. Just going to look to get that extra eco up and running. And he's calling it in close to his refineries. I like that decision. He gets that economy on his field a little bit faster. Oh. Ion Storm being called in? Hold on. Hold on. The Orbital Ion Storm was called in here by OneVISION, and it looks like it creates an Ion Storm at the targeted location, increases combat effectiveness of Scrin aircraft, and shoots down enemy aircraft. Unfortunately called that in, so he called that in for $2,000 and it did nothing because it doesn't actually attack ground forces. So again, a bit of experimentation there. That one unfortunately failed. That's $2,000 down the drain. So while he traded really well in Rocket's base, he kind of squandered an opportunity there by taking some serious cash loss for no gain by calling in an Ion Storm. Whoa! Okay, weird pathing from that tripod. Just paths right through the drone ship. But these two Annihilator tripods will do some serious work against these Secret Tanks. I don't know why Rockets wants to continue to engage into this. I mean, even if he manages to kill off these 2 Annihilator tripods, it's not going to be worth the amount of money that he loses in terms of lost Secret Tanks. He's only going to get one of those tripods at that, and that tripod can just be grabbed back for another $500. So, I mean, in reality, he only lost $500 here if he manages to get a simulator inside of that tripod husk. So I think that was a really big mistake there from Rockets. So some serious mistakes being made here by both sides, but that's okay. We'll have to see who's able to capitalize on them. And there we go, the assimilator coming out now, and we can see OneVISION's actually sent his assimilator up to grab that Tiberium spike. It looks like force field generators online here for OneVISION. He's already got tripods out. Mechapede's coming out here from Rockets, and Mechapede's got a pretty heavy nerf this time around. They're a bit slower. I think they have a bit less range, and shard segments are not quite as good. But it looks like they actually do fire on aircraft as well, which I don't think they did before. They're a bit more all-purpose, but I think they do less damage, especially versus structures and tanks and stuff, giving them a bit more of a specialized role in dealing with infantry. and I guess dealing with aircraft now. Before, you would think that disk segments were kind of the answer to the aircraft, but I would imagine charge segments are actually quite a bit better. You can see these Mechapedes not doing great against this one Devourer tank. Prodigy is rolling around here. Need to be careful though, doesn't want to get spotted too early. It will get spotted right now as those units pass over. It looks like the Tiberium spike here for Rockets has been captured finally, despite OneVISION's efforts to kill that off, and Cultists are on the move here. They are quite a bit slower though. They do have advanced artillery upgrade potentially to be purchased, but it doesn't look like they've been purchased just yet. So it looks like maybe fast leg disintegrators are still a thing here. Whoa, what is this? Traveler 59 intelligence upgrade. Increases vision and stealth detection range of all disintegrators and enables Storm Riders to spawn surveillance drones. Whoa, this actually seems like a pretty good upgrade. $1,500. It's not hugely expensive, but allows disintegrators to detect stealth. That's, I mean, I guess they detect stealth anyways because they're infantry, but it seems like they can do it maybe from a moderate range as opposed to essentially get run over and be like, oh yeah, there's something there. Lots and lots of cultists coming out, so I would have to assume that fast legs are on the way here in the near future. Ravagers, or rather, agonizers coming out as well, so fast legs must be getting purchased. Yeah, here they come. And advanced blink packs potentially on the cards here as well, but I think fast legs have been upgraded. Yeah, they have been upgraded. Ooh, Eradicator Hexpod gets EMP'd. I didn't even see this. The Devastator warship flying over the top, and that Hexpod's gone. So Rocket's losing his Hexpod there. And with all of these cultists kicking around, that's a big mistake. And now the tripods are going to finally get killed off, but they lose their Hexpod in turn. And I guess a couple of these tripods the husk can be grabbed back, and we have beacons coming down. Not sure what that was for, but oh, Prodigy comes in. It looks like maybe it got a snipe on something. I don't know what it got. What's he trying to do? Not able to capture buildings? Oh, maybe he can't capture buildings anymore. Rocket's definitely just lost his Prodigy for nothing there. Something must have happened. I don't know what was going on there. Didn't look like he was able to capture the Tier 3. I think that's what he was trying to do. Visible cultists. I don't know what he's talking about in terms of invisible cultists, but he can't see the cultists, really?
Unit under attack. Construction complete.
Oh, we can see them.
Building.
That's really weird. He can't see the cultists? I mean, we can see them through his vision, but then again, I don't know if that's just an observer bug. That's bizarre. So, OneVISION claiming that he can't see the cultists of Rockets. Not that it would have mattered. He would have lost those tripods either way, even if he could see them. This is interesting. No, he can definitely see them. Maybe he can't visually see them, but his units can still see them. I don't know. That's really weird. I don't know how much I believe that, but there was definitely something going on with the Prodigy from Rockets. It didn't look like he was able to capture structures. I don't know if maybe that's a change to the Prodigy. I'd have to check the tooltip and see what it says, but to my knowledge, they can still capture structures. Anyways, a couple of tripods going down there. Cultist's going to be running forward, maybe looking for something, but actually I think it's just going to look for its death. The buzzers are going to come forward and kill that off. Buzzer Swarm being called in here by Rockets to try to kill off the tripod husks. Manages to kill off one of them, but not going to be able to kill off anything else. Shields back online there for that Annihilator tripod. Should be able to stay alive for a bit longer. Simulator, whoa! Alright, I don't know what just happened, but my game just crashed. So that kind of sucks. Yeah. Alright, yeah, I don't really know what to say. I mean, the game crashed. There's not much I can do about that. Alright, well, give me a minute. I'll get it sorted out. I don't know what happened. I don't know if they crashed out too or if it was just me, but weird. I don't know what happened. But anyways, that's going to be... I don't know how we're going to deal with that one. So Phantom's going to have to chime in on that. I'm sure he'll be dealing with the guys. But again, I don't know if this game is still underway. I'll try to get my game sorted out so I can figure out how to get back in. But we're going to take a short break while I sort out my technical difficulties here and figure out why my game crashed. But we'll be jumping back into it momentarily, everybody. And I'll give you an update on what happened with that game and what we're going to do about it moving forward. But thank you all for joining me here today. We've got about 77 people watching right now. Thank you very much. And I think we were up to almost 100 earlier, so pretty nice to see you guys stopping by. But anyways, we're going to take a short break while I try to sort out this technical issue, and we'll be jumping right into it. Oops, wrong button there, guys. I was trying to turn my mic back on. But anyways, I'm sitting in the lobby right now and talking with OneVISION. Apparently he crashed as well, so I'm assuming that Rocket's crashed. Not sure where he is. He may be still trying to sort out how to get back online. But anyways, it is definitely a crash. It's looking like there was no clear winner either. At least not in my opinion. I don't think it was clear either way who was going to come out on top in that game. It's still back and forth. So I guess we're just going to rehost that game and just kind of redo game number 2. Yeah, very strange to say the least. It happens. I don't think I've ever had my game crash during a tournament though. But yeah, that's kind of the long and the short of it. And also just to fill you guys in, I'm sure those of you that are watching live have read the chat and you're already aware. But apparently, when OneVISION was talking about the fact that he couldn't see the cultists of rockets, it's because apparently there is an upgrade for Traveler to get personal stealth. So thank you to Sander Fonz, I think it is. But there are some other individuals in the chat that I also noticed mentioned it. So it is due to an upgrade, so it wasn't like a game bug or anything. But anyways, I think we are sorted to jump back into game number 2. We're just waiting for Rockets to get back online, and we should be good to go. But anyways, we're going to be headed back into game number 2 momentarily, everybody, so be sure to stick around. Okay, sorry everybody, I gave you false information just a moment ago. Sorry, I'm just trying to read through the chat here between these guys. Trying to sort out what happened. Long story short, I was kind of alerted to the fact that the invisible cultist should not have actually happened. According to the information that I've now received from the mod developer as well as Phantom, who's the tournament organizer, is that cultists cannot be stealthed. I guess that's only agonizers that can actually receive that stealth upgrade. So we're under the impression that apparently this was either a bug or sometimes it's referred to as an exploit for cultists to be stealth like that. But again, I'm not 100% positive that the cultists were actually stealthed. I think they were... I think it may have just been a graphical bug on OneVision's end, but anyways, Rockets is claiming that he didn't have any idea about it either, so I'm inclined to believe him. I don't think there was any reason for him to try to use a bug like that. I mean, it wasn't like he was really behind in that game either, so I don't see any reason to abuse a bug like that. Plus, he would get himself, I think, permanently banned from our event, so wouldn't really be worth the risk unless you were looking to just go out with a bang, I guess. But anyways, there's a number of reasons that it could have happened, but long story short, cultists should not be invisible, so I do apologize for giving you that information. And whoever it was that gave me that information, shame on you. No, I'm just joking. You guys probably didn't know. Reading through the patch notes, it's probably not clear, or at least not right away, as to whether or not something is supposed to be stealthed by that upgrade. But anyways, that's just a little bit more clarification on the issue, and we should be redoing game number 2 here any second. But again, guys, this mod, it has been released, but it is still, I'm sure it's still being, will still be patched after the fact once things get reviewed, and maybe even some balance stuff will be updated after this tournament's over. But hey, that's why we're here. We're here to have fun and show you guys a new mod, something that somebody's been working very, very hard on. So big props to Imaginary Number for working on it. And yeah, anyways, we're going to redo game number 2. That's coming up momentarily, everybody, so be sure to stick around. Alright everybody, and welcome back to game number 2 of this best of 7 final series, and that brings us back to the map Pipeline Problems. And spawning on the top side of the map as the purple Traveler 59, we have OneVISION. And sliding down to the bottom side of the map as the Cyan Renegades, we got the Rockets. So, to fill you guys in a little bit further, for those of you that may have just cut to this game, we did have A bit of a game crash in the last game, so we are restarting game number 2 here. On pipeline problems, there was no clear victor at the time that the game crash occurred, and it was not clear as to whether or not it was just a straight-up bug or if somebody desynced the game. But there was no real reason to believe that anybody desynced the game, and these two guys seem honorable enough to not have done that. So I'm inclined to believe that it was just simply a bug either with the mod or with the game or whatever number of reasons it could have been. But we're not going to worry about it too much, and we're just going to go ahead and replay this game. Both players agreed to it, so we're going to give it a new shot here. And that's going to be Renegades getting its first highlight here in this event, at least from my perspective. I don't know if it was played by anybody else during the tournament. I'm sure it probably was. And we're going to be seeing Leeches coming forward here. Going to try to deal with a couple of these Militant squads, but the Militant squad's going to get killed off very quickly by the Buzzer Hive. And unfortunate pathing there from those Militant squads, but we do have a Black Hand squad running out on the right-hand side, along with a Flame Tank moving around. And Renegades have the hidden explosives upgrade that they can purchase as well, which just means that that Flame Tank could go in. If it had this upgrade, it could go in, do some damage, and then when it's about to die, drive in close to the building that it's harassing and then just blow itself up. So a lot of extra potential damage output from those units. And Black Hand Squad. Ooh, actually, that Buzzer gets really good scouting information. It's going to see the Black Hand Squad and the Flame Tank, so plenty of information here to go and deal with this stuff. But there are Disintegrators out on the map here for OneVISION. Maybe going to be looking to go fast like Descents. We don't see that very often, or at least I haven't seen it yet today. But it's still definitely a viable option here, and fast like Descents may actually be a nice strong opening here for OneVISION. Does need to be careful though. This Flame Tank is going to get into range. I don't think this Flame Tank wants to screw around for too long with this Seeker Tank. Oh, I think he's wasting time. This is a missed opportunity. That Flame Tank should have been going in and doing damage, and now it's just going to go down. It's maybe going to poke a little bit of damage onto that. Yeah, very jeez, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of a useless Flame Tank there. I guess that's what I was trying to get at. I was trying to say uncost effective, but that doesn't make any sense. so I kept stopping myself from saying it, but then I wanted to go back and say it anyways. But Shredder Turret's going to be dealing with these fast leg Descents. They're doing a pretty nice job of slowing them down, but they don't manage to kill them all off. So a couple of Disintegrators will get away. I'm sure that evens up the cost of that Shredder Turret. I don't know why they're engaging back into it. Why walk back into the Shredder Turret? Unless it's like a Q move, I can't think of any reason why unless he's really trying desperately to get some scouting information. Oh, and now the Disintegrators are going to get crushed. Seeker Tank in there is going to cause problems, going to force at least a Scorpion Tank out to try to defend against it, but we have a Seeker Tank here in the original base of Rockets as well. Not sure where his MCV has gone to. Okay, so he actually moved his MCV over to get that expansion up and running. So again, a bit of a divergence in the builds here, as we did see OneVISION go for the more standard opener on this map. And I think a lot of that is just based on the fact that you're going to get that early blue Tiberium field. That eco makes up for the early crane that you had to go for. And then you also have a quicker expansion route to your next natural expansion. So I think that's maybe the better build option, unless you're going for some early flame tanks like Rockets did. So, ooh, Harvester going to be getting picked off there for free, and I think another one going to be going down as well. No Shredder Turrets being dropped here to try to deal with these Disintegrators and that. Ooh, man, and now the Buggy's going to be coming in and getting roasted here by these Disintegrators coming in melee form, we would say in League. But, oh, yeah, Rockets going to just toss in the towel. All right. It was not looking too good for him, and OneVISION just got some early pressure and was able to capitalize on it. So the Flame Tank really not paying dividends for Rockets. So maybe feeling a little bit discouraged here by his early rush options, playing as some factions that he would otherwise feel pretty comfortable on. Both Blackhand and Nod, he's gone for flame rushes, and they just have not worked. Both because of bad pathing and just because of the nerfs that those units received. But anyways, that's gonna be it for game number 2. So clear victor coming out in OneVISION's favor. So he's going to be feeling pretty good about that. Up 2-0 in this best of 7 series. Needs to close out 2 more games to be claimed victorious. And we'll have to see if We Got the Rockets has anything to say about that. He did come back with a reverse sweep of Salamis in his last series, so he's used to playing from behind. Love to see if he's able to make that happen in game number 3. But game number 3 is coming up momentarily, everybody, so be sure to stick around. Alright, hello everybody and welcome to game number 3 of this best of 7 final series, and that brings us to the map Tournament Dust Bowl. And spawning the top side of the map as the Cyan Steel Talons, we got the Rockets. And moving down to the bottom side of the map as the purple Traveler 59, we have OneVISION. So for those of you that don't know this matchup, normally this is like a death sentence for the Steel Talons player because it's just such a difficult matchup, but the changes that have been made, I think, will drastically affect this this early game move here, and I think these mutant mercenaries will actually be quite good against the early game disintegrators. But Fast Like Disintegrator is going to be coming out here from OneVISION in the near future. Unfortunately, he is going to lose both of these squads. Oh my God, no! He's going to lose a lot of disintegrators. Is he going to get the engineer? Oh, he's gonna get the engineer. Oh my God, no, the engineer's still alive! Okay, he kills the engineer. But these, you can see these mercenaries are still alive. Is he gonna get the snipe on the assimilator? He's gonna get the assimilator! So they trade engineers there, but a lot of assimilators going down, and these mutant mercenaries really showing the strength of this early game infantry coming out from Steel Talons. Just so strong. But now we have a couple of fast leg leeches running forward. I'm gonna try to deal with these mutant marauders, and they should be able to kill them off. And they kill them off quite quickly, actually. And let's take a look and see what's going on. And looks like a... His harvester is bugged. It can't move. I don't know what he's trying to do. Yeah, that's unfortunate. He should just kill off this, maybe if he force fires on the... Okay, it looks like they're going to restart. Alright, it looks like they're going to restart. That's fine. A little bit of a bug there that would have made a significant difference there for We Got the Rockets. So I'm in agreement with restarting that game because that would have been pretty devastating. But we'll save this one. Alright, we'll just save that just in case mod creator wants to take a look at it. But yeah, we're going to restart that game. I think we restart it with the same factions. Alright everybody, and welcome back to game number 3. We're gonna get through this eventually, and that brings us to the map tournament Dust Bowl. And spawning on the top side of the map as the Cyan Steel Talons, once again, we got the Rockets. And then spawning down on the bottom side of the map as the Purple Traveler 59, we have OneVISION. So for those of you that missed it, or are trying to figure out what happened, there was a bit of a harvester bug with OneVISION's, or rather with Rocket's harvester up in about this area here in this last game, or the last iteration of this game, and it was decided by the players to just go ahead and restart this one. So, interesting choice, and very interesting OneVISION opting to go for fast leg disintegrators in the same direction as last game. Seeing how poorly that went for him, I'm kind of shocked to see him doing that again this game. He did send a forward buzzer ahead, so you can actually see whether or not there are any squads coming forward. And Rockets, he did opt to not go for any early barracks. He's just going to give up the tip spike pressure here to the fact that OneVISION has fast leg disintegrators. But yeah, these guys, they agreed to go same factions this time around. I'm glad that they did because I wanted to see Steel Talons in particular again. It's probably going to put Rockets in a tough spot because obviously he gives up this early pressure. But I don't know. I think he'll be all right. We'll have to see. But early disintegrators coming out here. It's going to have to be some serious Watchtower spam coming out. Wolverine coming out as well. So I think OneVISION's probably feeling okay with the response that he's forced out. I think that Rockets can just stop building units at this stage and just go back into harvester production. I think he's done enough to hold that off, but he's going to have to give up early map pressure to OneVISION. So a bit of eco advantage going over to OneVISION in the early game. As you can see, he's capitalized on this by taking both of the Tiberian spikes on the map. So if it's left uncontested throughout the game, he's going to be in a bad spot. This is where he needs to be careful with the MCV. If the, well, now the disintegrators will get picked off if they decide to engage into that. And I think the Mutant Marauder squads, or rather the Mutant Mercenaries, I keep calling Mutant Marauders, they can actually stand on Tiberium without taking any damage. That's interesting. I like that. But yeah, you can see this is why I don't like sending my MCV through Tiberium fields. It gets bugged out like that. It screws around with the Harvester's pathing, even in 1.02 plus, where all that stuff has more or less been fixed. It's only one refinery down here for OneVISION. He's already expanded, so maybe just realizing that he was a bit behind in terms of eco, he's just going to get his expansion, or rather move his MCV, and then he's going to get his next refinery up and running. Tib Catalyst Missile's not really as much of a concern in this game, even if there were nod factions, just because they have been nerfed. I don't know what the extent of the nerf damage is. Whoa, actually the leftover damage coming out from those leeches managed to kill off that Mutant Mercenary. Very interesting. So apparently they have lasting damage. But anyways, Mutant Mercenary going to be running around on the right-hand side of the map, and this is where Rockets could potentially start grabbing back some map control here. If he starts getting out some Titans, maybe some Wolverines. Actually, I think some Wolverines would honestly be the best option. Just send like maybe 2 or 3 Wolverines with an Engineer, and they should be able to grab a Tiberium Spike without too much ability to contest it. Well, actually no, a Gunwalker should be able to shut that down pretty easily. Wolverine going to be used to get some scouting information here. Unfortunately, will be going down here for Rockets. I'm sure he's feeling pretty good about that. He's going to see the double portal here, realize that there are more disintegrators on the way. Needs to just focus on dealing with that. More than likely going to be seeing AP ammo coming out from him in this game in the near future. Not sure what he's going to choose to invest in right now. Probably going to be a second war factory. I would like to see that, or it might be even a barracks. No, it's going to be a power plant. All right, but he's queuing up watchtowers. Smart decision. But the problem is OneVISION, he's continuing to hold on to map control with these fast leg disintegrators. And that's something that Rocket's going to have to deal with sooner rather than later, because the longer this game goes on, the more it's going to favor OneVISION's late game. So, does need to be careful. However, Steel Talons has obviously been adjusted a bit and got a bit of a buff to their late game as well. But it comes at the cost of some seriously expensive upgrades. So we'll have to see how Rockets ends up choosing to play this one out. OneVISION going for pretty much patented Traveler 59 strats. Really not mixing anything up here. Just fast like disintegrators around the map to try to hold on to the control of it. He's got a number of Wolverines out now, that being Rockets, and could potentially upgrade this with Talon combat armor. I'd like to see that make these guys a bit stronger. It also makes his Harvesters stronger. I think that's an early investment that's probably worthwhile. If nothing else, it saves maybe a Harvester or two. Need to see some watchtowers coming down, and these Pitbulls should not be firing at all on these disintegrators, but probably focusing elsewhere. Let's see what's going on around the map. We have disintegrators coming in here, a number of these Wolverines. They are on attack move stance, so they are going to focus down these disintegrators. Wow, these Wolverines doing some serious work. Wolverines just do such a great job of killing off infantry. Not so great against vehicles and buildings, but will be pretty strong. AP ammo also got a nerf against, I think, vehicles and structures, so he doesn't want to invest too heavily in Wolverines and just expect them to be able to carry the game. Ooh, Disintegrator's getting a nice flank going on right now. They could be able to come in and kill off some Harvesters, but more than likely it's going to be a Wolf. No, it's going to be a Pitbull. Oh my god, that needed to be a Wolverine. A couple of Harvesters going to be going down here, unfortunately. We need to see some Watchtowers coming out. Should be selling off a Ref. He's already lost 2 Harvesters. 3 Harvesters are going to be going down there. A Ref and maybe even a Power Plant should have been sold off here to try to hold this off. And then a Watchtower should have been queued up. That was a big blunder. One of these Refs needs to be sold off now. Keep these guys rolling. But Wolverine's very far out of position. I mean, he's trying to engage into this base, but I don't know that he's really going to be able to do all that much. Whoa, these are cool units. Agonizers coming in. They've got really nice kite capability. They kind of fire like rockets, almost like or rather attack bikes. They don't do tremendous damage though, so these Wolverines are going to be able to tank through it. We do need to be careful. But really nice micro coming in from OneVISION to just come in, get the damage off, and then kite back out. Unfortunately, it didn't look like they were able to get a volley off that time around, but it's just really annoying there for Rockets, and in the meantime, he's got a lightning spike in his base. It looks like he's actually focusing that down now with the Wolverine, so he does manage to clean that up. Not too shabby. Needs to get some Harvesters pumped back out now, though, because his eco is really struggling. It looks like he did sell off one of his refineries. Should be looking to maybe sell off the tier 2, but more than likely he's looking to get AP ammo. And I think the AP ammo at this stage in the game is worth not having his Harvesters, because there's just a lot of infantry, and the infantry threat is pretty real. Unfortunately, throwing these Wolverines away is a pretty big blunder, in my opinion. I get what he's trying to do. He's trying to keep the pressure off of himself. Wow, actually, he's going to send the rest of his Wolverines forward. I don't think the Wolverines want to engage into these Gunwalkers. Never mind, they're absolutely smashing these Gunwalkers. That's interesting. What is that? Kind of lightning. Huh. Yeah, I don't know what that was. Kind of weird lightning spike thing. But anyways, Agonizer is going to be getting free damage onto these guys as the tier 3 is trying to be focused down, but you can see the reduced damage here from the AP ammo. It's just not doing nearly as much as you would kind of hope for it to do. But okay, that's going to be it. We got the Rockets has been defeated. I think he just lost too many Harvesters in that last fight. And that's going to put him down 0-3 to OneVISION. Not a good situation here for Rockets to be in. I mean, he could make the reverse all sweep real. Or reverse all kill, reverse sweep. I put the 2 words together. But anyways, that's going to be just under 7 minutes on the clock there. OneVISION just going to come out on top despite trading. I mean, the unit KD ratio is a bit skewed just due to the fact that the individual units of the infantry get counted in to this mix. Actually, no, I don't know if they do. But anyways, it's not going to matter. OneVISION obviously expended more units, but he had low-cost units in comparison to Rockets. So, pretty solid game there from OneVISION. I think he went a little heavy on the infantry, but he kept up the map pressure, and that's what he really needed to do. He capitalized on the early game, which is what he needed to do. He didn't end up, running scared at the beginning of the game, thinking that these early infantry are really strong. But yeah, OneVISION just played it better. So anyways, solid game number 3, and they'll be taking us into game number 4, and that's coming up momentarily, everybody, so be sure to stick around. Alright, hello everybody and welcome to game number 4 of our best of 7 final series, and that brings us to the map Tournament Tower. And spawned in the upper left hand corner, the man that has to make something happen in this game or be completely defeated in this series as the Cyan Traveler 59, or no, I'm sorry, I think I had that wrong. Cyan Messenger 8, let me correct myself. We got the Rockets. And then spawning down in the bottom right corner as the purple messenger, or I'm sorry, purple Reaper 17, we have OneVISION. Alright, so Reaper 17, we have seen that to be, we got the Rockets' bane of existence in these last few series. The Manhunters just being so strong. We'll have to see if OneVISION realizes the strength there and tries to capitalize on that. I would have to imagine that he's been paying close enough attention to recognize, even if he hasn't necessarily seen it in his own games, that he knows that these Manhunters are a thing, and that they are quite strong. You can't really fault them for using them, because they are part of the game. So we'll have to see if Rockets is able to develop a strategy to defeat that as Messenger 8. I think he's going to be in a difficult position because Disintegrators, while they're pretty good against it, can be easily countered by a Buzzer Swarm support power, and then he can be left almost defenseless. So I wouldn't be shocked to see Rockets maybe realize that he's up against Messenger, or rather realize that he's up against Reaper 17 and then opt to go Gunwalker spam. Because I think Gunwalker spam would make it so that he's also tanky against the Manhunters, but also able to deal with infantry, and it will just make any Disintegrator hold of his a bit stronger. So I think that's the way that you would handle this. I'm not sure though, these guys know how to play the game a lot better than I do. So we'll have to see what they choose to do. I'm interested to see how the meta shakes out with these particular Manhunters, and whether or not OneVISION opts to go that route, or if maybe he goes a completely different route that we haven't seen yet today from Reaper 17. That's what I would prefer to see. I would like to see a different strategy, but then again, why do something different than what you know already works? Especially when he's looking to close the series out. OneVISION's up 3-0 in this series, so if Rockets loses this game, he's out, and OneVISION is claimed victorious. Yeah, these guys just playing eco so far. Just trying to think through my head. I'm just trying to think through the possible ways of countering this Manhunter spam, because it just didn't seem like Rockets had any way of dealing with it the last couple of games. And it doesn't look like OneVISION really seems that concerned about starting to pump these guys out. I mean, he's got one out now, but I think he's going back for some more Harvesters. I think in this situation, you just drop another Warp Sphere and start spamming those things out. But it looks like he's going really heavy eco, which is fine. He's ahead in terms of the eco race here. Oh, it's a fast tier 2 coming in from Rockets. This is interesting. That's a development. So fast tier 2 comes in. Corruptor going to be coming forward. I think these Corruptors are quite a bit stronger than the Corruptors that we've seen in the past. And I think they do a lot more damage to buildings than their predecessors. So we'll have to see just whether or not they live up to that hype. They do manage to clean out that GDI Logistics Center. So just going to be eliminating that vision there from OneVISION. The Corruptor's going to sit back. Devourer Tank's going to be coming out now. Should be looking to see the negative energy lance coming out from these guys. It would just make them so much stronger. We saw that, I think, in the first game that we saw today. I can't remember who that was between. I think it was like Salamis and Dragon 99. We saw that energy lance being upgraded. It looks really cool, and it's super strong, so I'm hoping that's going to end up being the case. And we've also seen the tripods come out from these guys being really strong as well. So we'll have to see. Devourer Tank's doing some serious work, and actually these Devourer Tanks, DevCore seems to be a nice way of dealing with these Manhunters. Even though the Manhunters aren't really being spammed out at this stage. Devourer Tanks facing off against Devourer Tanks. Corruptor support on the back line. Let's see. Wow, the repairs are insane. This one Corruptor is able to keep these Devourer Tanks alive fully without taking almost any damage at all. Ooh, nice Stasis Shield coming in there from OneVISION. Going to be able to lock this force down. Just going to be giving them a little bit of time to breathe here, get a second Warp Sphere down, probably sell up his Warp Sphere at home, smart move. Can't produce off of 3 warp spheres. But he's going to give him time to mass up some units here, maybe get an opportunity to focus down this Corruptor. I think he should be moving into position like over here and be looking to kill off these Corruptors, but it was a good lightning spike placement there from Rockets. Unfortunately, it was not caught within the stasis shield, so that one will go down. Now the Devourer tank's getting focused down here, and the question is, will that Corruptor be a factor? I think the Corruptor is just going to get focused down here. Now the warp sphere repairs should be enough to allow OneVISION to win this fight. And Shardling drawing a little bit of aggro there from these Devourer tanks. Yeah, they need to cut and run. Unfortunately, he's not going to get away, I don't think. He's going to get away with one of them. So he's going to get away with one Devourer tank. So a nice Devourer tank fight there in the middle of the map. I like that a lot. So early tier 2 coming out from him. And it's nice to see OneVISION going for something other than the Manhunter spam. Seems like it's been dealt with nonetheless. Let's see what's going on here. Could sell up one of those refineries, doesn't necessarily need 2 of them back at home. Should be looking to get another refinery up and around this area here. Get that eco established, because right now Rockets is a bit ahead. Unfortunately, his harvesters are pathing to the wrong refinery, so wasting a lot of time doing that. And that's really, really bad, actually. Need to get that fixed. But he's likely not even worried about that. He's probably focusing on other stuff right now. Actually, no, he's sending all of his harvesters back now, so... sells up one of his refineries back at home, and OneVISION doing the same. So these guys are on pretty equal footing right now. A lot of Devourer tanks being built by both sides. OneVISION definitely has the numbers advantage, but the question is will the negative energy lance be purchased here? Doesn't look like it has been just yet. Tech Assembler going to be required to build that, so he does need his tier 3. It looks like it's quite a ways off from being built at this stage. So I wouldn't expect to see it in the near future. OneVISION maybe not realizing the numbers advantage that he has right now. He also has, I think, a Corruptor or 2 mix. He's going to push his drone platform forward. I like the decision here to move that forward. And Devourer tanks. Okay, now the engagement comes in. Stasis shield comes in from Rocket's going to be able to lock down a number of these Devourer tanks, getting the numbers advantage way over in his favor. He gets an awesome engagement. Perfect stasis shield coming in from OneVISION. If he could have caught that warp sphere, it would have been even better, just to eliminate any possibility of these guys being brought in. Interesting placement of that Buzzer Swarm support power. I think he was expecting the Disintegrators to come out here, but they're actually on the other side. It doesn't matter too much. He's going to manage to kill these guys all off. But now the Devourer tank's definitely favoring Rockets. So despite OneVISION having the superior numbers, Rockets gets a nice stasis shield. Going to be able to even up the score here a little bit. He's taking a bit of damage. He needs to add a Corruptor, I think, to the mix and start healing up some of these tanks. But the focus firing coming in from both sides is a little rough, but they are trying to position themselves around as well. But OneVISION does manage to beat this back, and it looks like Rockets is not going to choose to continue to fight that. I like the decision to fall back here. Should be looking to get into his tier 3. No tier 3 on the cards just yet. Maybe that's what he's purchasing? No, he's not actually building tier 3, so it looks like it's just going to be straight up Devourer tanks. I think that's a bit risky. I understand the decision, but I think if he was able to get out a couple of tripods at this stage, like maybe, yeah, he loses a couple of Devourer tanks because he has lower numbers, but having the tier 3 and having the ability to produce tripods is going to be a huge benefit to him. This is really odd that both players are just spamming Devourers. I mean, I understand it, respect it, but I don't know that I agree with it. Not all of these Devourer tanks actually getting charged up. I think that's another mistake, choosing to engage in this situation when not all of these Devourers are charged. And they're not all full health either, so I'm not sure about this engagement. This could go very badly for OneVISION, or rather very badly for Rockets, if OneVISION is able to capitalize on the fact that these aren't all charged up. It's getting some pretty good engagements. It's getting kind of messy, though. It's unclear who's got the larger number. Ooh, okay, calls in the shield meat, but unfortunately his numbers disadvantage does not work out for him, and OneVISION comes through victorious in that battle, even with the support power being used. Just wasn't enough HP, and those Devourers were able to chew through it. Still no upgrades being purchased, though. I would have hoped to see maybe some of these guys being... Oh, wait! Oh, no, I see. They have to have upgrades in order to be upgraded. Alright, so never mind. The upgrades that they needed to purchase I'm curious if we'll even be able to tell whether or not these guys are upgraded. Oh yeah, they are. Wait, did he just upgraded these? I think he just did. Alright, so he just upgraded a couple of these tanks with the Disruptor Cannon mutation, which increases the tank damage by 50%, increases movement speed by 50%, heals itself automatically, loses conversion reserve ability. I think that's okay. I think I'd be okay with losing the conversion reserve ability. Oh, why can't I move? Here we go. To have the ability to self-heal. You can see these Devourer tanks are gaining HP, and look, they get the kite ability of these Devourer tanks now is insane. I think that's OP. Love to see. Look at this. Look at how fast they are. Prodigy getting chased away, or rather Mastermind getting chased away. Look how fast those two are. That's actually pretty cool. I like these upgrades. I think they're expensive, but the kite ability of these things is pretty ridiculous. Look at how quick they can move in and out. What does this one have? This one has the Eviscerator mutation. I really like OneVISION that he did this. So it fires over great distances, anti-structure ray cannon, charged beam deals more damage, charged beams have increased range, health increased by 30%. Both of those mutations look real good. I mean, they do have a cost associated with them, but you can see these Devourer tanks doing some serious work. You need to be careful, though. I don't think I would want to engage into the tripod even with these upgrades. Because the thing is you don't want to be losing those Devourer tanks at this stage in the game. Rocket's opting to go for the Tier 3, getting into the tripod production here. I like the decision here. He's got some Disintegrators out as well, so he should be able to deal with these Devourer tanks pretty easily. But the thing is, these Devourer tanks can just kite these things out so supremely well that even though the Disintegrators are meant to counter these guys, they're just not going to be able to because they can't catch them. And the speed increase is crazy. Looks like they both got speed increases because I think both mutations are moving quite quickly. Shielded Harvesters? Alright, I don't know what the Harvesters are there for. If he was sending them forward to tank before... Whoa, okay. What? This tank's moving sideways. This tank is straight up Tokyo Drift mode. Yeah, that tank was firing sideways out of its cannon, so, interesting. But I think that was the anti-structure ray that they were firing. So it's nice. It looks like OneVISION's experimenting a little bit. I like this a lot. He's also giving us an opportunity to take a look at some of these upgrades. See if any of this has been upgraded. Okay, so the tripod's been upgraded with Carnage Tripod Mutation. Oops, there's actually a spelling mistake in there. Rate of fire scales up with low HP. Oh, okay, that's cool. So it gets more damage as it gets lower on HP. Movement speed scales up with low HP. Out of control when below 33% health. Increases health by 33%. Huh. Alright. Holy Disintegrator spam, Batman. Okay, so Disintegrator's coming in, but we have the... whoa, what is that thing called? Click on it. I can't click it. Oh, I clicked on it and then I clicked away. There we go. Scourge. Scourge. Scourge coming in. No anti-air here to deal with this. And should be able to clean up a lot of these Disintegrators for free. I like that unit. It's a pretty cool looking unit. Anyways, Tripod's going to be coming forward here. Looks like they're going to choose to cut and run in this situation. Tripod looks like it had a nice red charge to it too. That's pretty cool looking. Laser beams for days. As we can see, this is getting pretty messy. Nobody seems to really know how to end, but OneVISION experimenting a bit more, so I think it's just because he had such an advantage and he's already up 3-0 in this series, so he can afford to throw a game if he has to, but I don't think he's going to. I think he's still ahead in this game, regardless of how you look at it. He's got 4 of these Scourges out now, which are going to be able to deal with infantry pretty well. Be careful, though. The Gunwalkers will probably shoot these guys down pretty quickly. It looks like there's a plasma missile battery down as well, which should be able to shoot those guys down pretty quickly. Looks like he's going to try to come in and do some Harvester harassment. We'll have to see how much damage he actually does. They don't do insane damage. They're kind of like Storm Riders. Could potentially be going down, though, if they stick around for too long. They are going to go down. Yeah, that one plasma missile battery is going to be doing some serious work. They are going to cut and run, so they're very fast. I like those guys. I don't know if you guys heard my reference earlier, but they look like they look a little bit like Raiders from Battlestar Galactica. I don't know if you guys know that show at all, or if I'm just the super nerd here, but they certainly have that kind of same shape. A little bit, a little bit. You just need the red eye that goes back and forth. All right, but anyways, talking about stuff that doesn't have any relation to the game whatsoever. Power tanks coming forward, they need to cut and run. Unfortunately, these are not the ones that are very quick, so I will stand corrected on my thought that these guys got a movement speed increase. But Reaper tripods, unfortunately that upgrade won't actually benefit those tripods until they get down low HP, so not going to be super strong with that particular upgrade. Whereas the other one, they really wouldn't have benefited from that one either. It's EMP immunity, near immunity to gun damage. I'm just assuming they get massive armor that deals with gun damage, and then 25% additional movement speed. So essentially, he would have been buying that one to avoid getting EMP'd by his enemy's tripods, and just get the additional movement speed, because the gun damage stuff doesn't really matter. It just makes it so the gunwalkers can't focus them down, but you wouldn't use gunwalkers to deal with tripods anyways, so I think that upgrade's maybe not as worth it, so I can understand why you would choose to go for the other one. It's kind of like a final stand for the tripods. Neither player really has any ability to crack the other's defenses, and the problem is it just becomes a trading battle now, and the question is who can trade better. Right now it's looking like OneVISION's trading slightly better, but I'm not sure where his... yeah, I think he lost all of his aircraft, which really puts a hamper on this attack because he doesn't have any way of dealing with his infantry. Okay, so he's either rebuilt these Scourges or has sent them back to base. I think he's had to rebuild them. But the Disintegrators are getting massed up to a pretty large number. Honestly, there should be more Gunwalkers out to try to deal with this stuff. Ooh, unfortunate placement there of that Warp Chasm, going to be cutting off the movement here of these tripods. I think the Warp Chasm is a bit greedy as well, because that money could have been spent on more units. I don't think he needs a Hexapod to end this game. I think it'd be kind of wishful thinking to even imagine that he's going to get a Hexapod at this stage in the game. I don't think he's even possibly got enough money to build it, unless he sells up some serious infrastructure right now. Well, he's got 3K, so we'll have to see. OneVISION, on the other hand, or rather Rockets, on the other hand, is struggling. He's invested so much in these Disintegrators, and they're just getting annihilated, so not looking good for him, but he's not ready to tap out because this is his final stand. I mean, he has to win this game to stay alive, and then he has to win the subsequent 3 games after that, so desperation move here from Rockets. He's going to send his drone ship forward. He's going to look to maybe try to deal with these buzzer hives, or rather Shardling hives, I stand corrected. But I think, honestly, once these Scourges realize that there's really not much anti-air to speak of here, they should just be able to come in and deal with these Disintegrators with no real trouble. And once the Hexapod's out, that's pretty much GG, unless there's like an awful engagement where OneVISION gets EMP'd by the tripods. So there's still win conditions for both players. We'll have to see who's able to capitalize on it. Disintegrators force firing on the ground here. Sells out both of his portals, so I think he's content with the amount of infantry that he's got. He's actually killing off his own units with the force fire. I don't know why he's force firing. Hexapod going to be taking a bit of damage, but managing to kill off some of these units. You can see the Shardling hives doing quite a lot of work here, and now the Hexapod. Actually, the Hexapod's not a bad choice because if you can get it out, it starts acting as its own income generator when you start trading well, because that's what the Hexapod wants to do. It wants to sit here and it wants to eat up these units and start gaining some veterancy, but it's also gaining cash by doing so from the Recycler passive on the Hexapod. So now it's just a ditch effort. I think that you just need to essentially suicide these tripods and get the EMP on that Hexapod, and just hope to God that you can hold off these 2 remaining tripods from OneVISION, but it's not looking good for Rockets. It's not looking good at all. He's trading into this Hexapod really poorly, and I mean, the Hexapod took almost no damage. I think, honestly, the Hexapod could just run forward with the tripods behind it, and then when Rockets' tripods go forward for some poke or for an EMP on the Hexapod of OneVISION, OneVISION's tripods can just kill off Rockets' tripods. Because I'm pretty sure these guys are stronger just straight up in a 1v1 fight. So he's playing safe. I don't think it's necessary though. I think he's trying to make Rockets kill himself. Or maybe they're just taking this opportunity to experiment with a couple other upgrades, realizing that they're probably done for the day after this. Don't know. The anti-structure ray being used by this Devourer tank here. You can see that super long range. The artillery option here from these Devourer tanks is actually pretty good. It's almost like beam cannons, but it looks way cooler. That gets killed off. Hexpod going to be running forward there. Drone ship's just going to pack up and run. So Rockets is not ready to give up on this one just yet. Hexpod doesn't want to necessarily overcommit, not without any support. The tripods, these tripods are playing way too defensive right now. I think they honestly should be looking to push forward. He's definitely got an advantage. Whoa, that Hexpod's got ridiculous range. Wait, does it have an upgrade? It does have an upgrade. Genocide or Hexapod, what does this do? Drains energy from surrounding corruptions to mutate into a Storm Razor. Okay. And what does that do? Mutated conversion beam. Converts enemy targets into Tiberium. Really? Increases speed by 25% and can detect stealth. The 25% speed increase is pretty huge when you think about the Hexpod. But converts enemy targets into Tiberium. I think that's the same passive that we're already talking about in terms of the Recycler. Let's see. Does it like leave Tiberium behind? I don't think it does. Yeah, I think that's the same original passive that it had. Ooh, Hexpod could get EMP'd here. It's going to cut and run. I don't know if it can fire on the move anymore, though. It's interesting. I don't think it can fire and move, or rather move and fire at the same time anymore. Cultists are still invisible. I don't even see any cultists. Unless they just died. OneVISION saying that the cultists are still invisible, and Rocket's asking if he wants to replay this game. Yeah, I don't think OneVISION wants to replay this one. I think he feels pretty confident about being in a commanding lead. Again, he's got 4 tripods sitting back here. He seems really concerned about these disintegrators. I think he just needs to move in and just start doing some work. I think he's okay, so he's going to play it safe. He's going to move his drone ship forward so he can use buzzer hives to try to deal with the disintegrators, and then his hexpod and tripods will be able to deal with the enemy tripods. But the buzzer hives need to be dropped right now. These tripods need to be careful. They're going to take a lot of damage from these disintegrators. One goes down. These tripods are very expensive. They don't want to be going down to this. A lot of disintegrators being lost right now, and now these 2 tripods are being left on their own. So there's 2 tripods and a hexpod left here for OneVISION. He's got corruptor support. The hexpod gets EMP'd, but now that tripod has no support of its own. It's going to be destroyed, and the GG comes in from Rockets. That is going to be it, folks. And as if it was scripted, OneVISION ends up coming through victorious in the OneVISION mod tournament. I don't think that there could be a more fitting end to this series. OneVISION comes out on top. I mean, it was just dominating performance from OneVISION all the way around. Again, these guys not terribly familiar with the mods, so you got to give them a little bit of leeway in that. But obviously there are some ways that they could have improved their play. But again, it's a bit disorienting when you're playing and you're expecting to be able to do certain things, and they're changed either completely or drastically. So just congratulations to OneVISION. He's going to come through victorious. I think there is a small prize for this event, just something that was kind of tossed in to sweeten the deal a little bit. Let me see if I can actually find what that is. I'll pop up this screen in the meantime. Let's take a look. I think I can find it. Let's see here. Yeah, so it's just, I think it's a Steam game called Murder Miners. I don't know what it is specifically, but that is the prize for the event. Again, we don't normally do cash prizes for mod events unless it's something that was sponsored by sponsored by the mod creator, or if the community wanted to have that in particular. But so OneVision's going to walk away with not only a tournament win, but also the game Murder Miners from Steam, I believe. So congratulations to him. He has won in convincing fashion 4-0 over We Got the Rockets, and he'll be adding a tournament victory to his name. So pretty solid games that we've seen here today, folks. I hope you guys have all had fun. I've had a lot of fun. Mostly, I mean, obviously we didn't see like super high level play today, but we got to see some interesting stuff. We got to see some brand new factions, some brand new units. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see my Centurions. They're very expensive though. Those are really cool units. I might actually just... No, I'm not going to... I was going to say I might actually just jump into a skirmish game and show you guys because they look so damn cool. But you guys can download it for yourselves. I highly recommend it. It's a fun little mod to play with, especially if you're just playing against AI, because then you can screw around with all the different upgrades. Stuff that you maybe wouldn't get to do in a competitive 1v1 game where it's super high stakes. But pretty solid game. Pretty solid games that we've seen here today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had a blast. And people in the chat saying, "We want more! We want more!" Well, if you want more, you got to go and download the mod. It is on ModDB. The link is down in the description, and I also linked the Word documents that I was looking at the beginning of the cast down in the description as well. I think it is listed as mod presentation documents. You can find the link for that. That will give you the download for that stuff. But yeah, pretty solid set of games here today, guys. I hope you all had fun. That's going to wrap it up for me today, though, folks. I'm going to be off to go watch probably the remainder of the EU LCS. They're having the League of Legends spring finals today, so it should be a good set of matches. But we are going to be back with some more tournament action for you guys, folks. For you folks, very soon. I also have another tournament that I need to cast that happened a couple of weeks ago that I was not able to be in attendance for, so you can expect that in the near future. There have been people that have been kind of screaming at me to get that done. I've just been so freaking busy. But it's been over a month since I casted a tournament. It's nice to be back. It's nice to see some new stuff. I hope you guys had fun. I think we're up to like 90-something people here today. Let me see what we got. I'll just refresh my stuff here. Wow, we got over 100. Cool. We got 101 peak concurrent viewers today. So thank you guys for stopping by. That's pretty awesome. I think 101 is... I think that's the most I've had in the last couple of events. So to see you guys turn up like that, turn up in those numbers for a mod event is pretty awesome. And just as a heads up, we have a Renegade Wars tournament, which is another mod, which is essentially a MOBA which has been created within Kane's Wrath that kind of mirrors Dota 2's map, but has a ton of cool stuff in it. Like it's a really, really cool mod, and I'm somebody that loves MOBAs, obviously being a League of Legends player. It's all really, really cool stuff. I'm really looking forward to it. I should have some more information and potentially kind of a sneak preview of the mod prior to that tournament. I'm not quite sure exactly what I'm going to create for that. It's a couple weeks from now. I think if we want to set it tentatively, for those of you that are in the chat, it is April 24th. That is what we have tentatively, so please do not hold me to that, but that is what we have on our books for right now. Again, things could change. It's 2 weeks from now, so we'll have to see how things go. But I'm looking very much forward to that. But I had a blast with this mod tournament. I was skeptical coming into it as to how much I would enjoy it, just because you don't really know what the meta is going to be. We weren't expecting huge turnout in terms of players. We didn't get a huge turnout in terms of players. I think we got like 9 people. But it's still pretty good event. I thought we had a lot of fun with it, and it was interesting to see the different things that ended up being strong versus other things that used to be strong that have now become much weaker. So it seems like some of the nerf efforts against particularly Black Hand were quite effective. So. Oh, jeez. I've gotten ahead of myself. So thank you all very much for joining me here today, and thank you very much to the mod creator, which I believe is Imaginary Number, or I think he goes by Zocker Forever. I'll just check the mod DB. I think that's his name on there. I don't know if I'm cross-referencing this with something else, so I might be giving credit to another mod developer that has nothing to do with this at all, in which case I'll feel pretty stupid. Well, I know for a fact that it's Imaginary Number that's involved with this, so thank you very much for the work that you did on this, sir. It's quite an interesting mod. Obviously, I think there's some things to work on, but there is a lot in there that has been added that is pretty awesome. So congrats on creating such a cool mod, and I look forward to seeing some more stuff in the future for it. Maybe even another event. We'll have to see. But anyways, that's going to be it here for me today, folks. I hope you all had fun. I had a blast. I think I've said that about 14 times now. But yeah, so next stream is probably about 2 weeks from now if you're watching live. If you're watching the video, obviously it'll be up shortly after I'm done streaming. So yeah, we're looking at probably April 24th is the next event that will be posted, or rather the next event that will be live cast. I will be casting another event that occurred, the Outcast 1v1 tournament, which was a standard tournament, which happened a couple of weeks ago that I was not in attendance for, but I have the replays for. So I'm going to be casting that kind of in a similar format to the way that I cast tournaments, but it's going to be more edited, and it's going to be much more clean presentation. So you guys can look forward to seeing that. We had a lot of good names showing up for that event, so that should be a nice competitive event that you guys will get to kind of toss in between these mod events, and then we'll be into some more standard stuff moving on into the future. But anyways, thank you all very much for joining me here today, and I'll catch you all next time.